Hi, everyone. Hello. It is I, Trooper SJP, and this is the Academic Foxhole. Woohoo! Hi. How are you? Wow. We were just talking about in chat before I went live. Hi, I'm Trooper SJP. This is the Academic Foxhole. We're playing the Outer Worlds. And we were just talking in chat before I actually went the face camera about the TV movie Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with Peter Frampton and also the Bee Gees. And I was saying, was Pam Dauber the female lead? And she probably wasn't, but Pam Dauber was everywhere in the late 70s, early 80s on television, so she might have been. 78, thank you. Sgt. Pepper's is, anyway, yeah. It was Baron Severance in the ballroom with the lead pipe, probably, or it might have been Val in the dining room with the syringe. We really don't know. Aerosmith is in it, that's right, and George Burns. Sandy Farina is in it. Ah, also, the thing is, Here Comes the Sun. That was like they sang that, and Steve Martin sang "Bang Bang Maxwell's Silver Hammer." Steve Martin sang that. Alice Cooper was in it, I think. I can't remember which song Alice Cooper did, but it was like so. It was a TV movie called Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. I have not seen it since 1968, by the way. But if I remember correctly, they sort of made the album a story. Like they figured out how to make a story out of the album, and then they did somehow. It was Sue in the scout ship with a gravimetric drive. I think that's actually maybe might have been who it was. Well, Halcyon and Helen had a bad case of the heebie-jeebies. Yes. Yes. Yeah, anyway, it was pretty weird. Not that, I mean, like, not in a bad way. I don't know. Some people might think it was in a bad way. As a kid, I was like, what is happening with Steve Martin and Maxwell Silver Hammer? This is amazing. So I was excited. A lot of people died last night in the Gamblers. It was none of our PCs, but they're amazing. I'm continuously amazed by the choices the characters make.
Name game.
Also, I'm continually amazed by I've got a name game, but I want to cleanse my palate before I sing. Ooh, lovely. The name game. Come on, everybody. I said, now let's play a game. I bet you I can make a rhyme out of anybody's name. The first letter of the name, I treat it like it wasn't there. And then a B on F. On M will appear. And then I say boo at a B. Then I say the name, then banana, fanner, and foe. Then I say the name again with an F, very plain. Then a fee, fi, and a mo. And then I say the name again with an M this time. And there isn't any name that I can't rhyme. But if the first two letters are ever the same, I drop them both and say the name. I like Bob. Bob, drop the B's, Bo, Ob, or Fred. Fred, drop the F's, for Red, or Mary. Mary, drop the M's, Mo, airy. That's the only rule that is contrary. Barantor, Banjo, Banjo, Bo, Arantor, Banana, Fanta, Fo, Farantor, Fee, Fi, Mo, Marantor. Barantor. The name game. Thank you for that resub. Woodles, we just got a copy link address. I'm gonna throw up a brand new tab. Why would I not? Oh, it's the trailer for Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. That's very exciting. I'm excited about it. Okay. Yeah, Alice Cooper sang because with the Bee Gees. Yeah, right. Just Alice Cooper. You know, you waited till you took a bite. No, it is fine. So good. Sang because we don't know why, right? I do appreciate. So, we're playing The Outer Worlds today. I have my controller, and I'm just gonna start it, you know, so that we know that we're playing it, because that's important. That you know, playing the game. So I've got I have a quick show and tell. Hold on. It's the weirdest thing, and I've got a quick show and tell for you. It's really quick because it's weird. I went and I picked up my mail, and I got all my mail, and Also, I got an email. We had a conversation today about whether or not my Drachen och Demona, so Dragonbane, has come in, and or like I was like, I thought I saw it was over there and I didn't see it. It has not come in yet. The hard copy, I have the PDF, but the hard copy has not come in yet, and I know that because I just got an email from them saying we're going to lock down your shipping address really soon. The perils of Kickstarter. Anyhow, Tim Kaine started a YouTube channel last month. I've been watching his backlog. He wants to get all his game development stories recorded. Oh, really? On a bunch of thoughts on this one here on why is are you guys having a fight? Good, you're not. Good. I didn't want to get into a fight. I'm having a conversation here. Thank you. I was like, on this one. Oh, well, you should link it in Discord. So look, I went to the mailbox, and I picked up a bunch of mail, right? And I got my rune cards, which is really exciting. So I want to do another little bit of round of runes, so that'll be really fun. But hey Volus, I got a CD in the mail. And so, you know how sometimes you order things on Kickstarter and then you forget about them and then you get a surprise later, something like that? Well, this is not a Kickstarter thing. And I checked Amazon and I did not order it on Amazon. And I actually don't even think it came from Amazon in the packaging. So that was weird. And I don't have any record of this on in my email. So if I ordered it online in some way, then I there's no record of it. So the thing is, I don't think okay, so now I will say there have been times in the past when I have ordered some kind of obscure sort of thing and they sent me the wrong thing instead. But because for example, they did not send me the wrong thing, but I finally got a second copy of She Shall Have Music, which is a British musical starring Jack Hilton from like early 30s. It's about jazz and it's really questionable. I need it for my jazz class. But I thought about it, and I do not know in any way. I do not think I ordered this. It was addressed to me. The only thing I can think of, and it's not related to any classes I teach, I don't even know what it is. The only thing I can think of is that because I teach music for a living, somebody randomly sent me this CD hoping that I would do something with it. But Troop shall have nostalgia. Oh, yes. He also made a video about his experience being a gay developer. By the way, did you know Tim Kaine was gay? Because I didn't know that either. Oh, that's really... Link the videos. It's like male Christmas with forgotten Kickstarters. Yes. So it is this CD called... Well, it seems like it's two different people. It's the arc in this... Well, it's unclear to me. Okay, no, it's two different artists. The Arc in the Sky by Kyle Smith and The Crossing by Donald Nally. And I don't know what this is about. Okay, so my guess is that this was sent to me because I teach music. Because Donald Nally's a conductor, and conductor says somebody just randomly sent this to a music professor. I do not know why I have this. I do not know what it's about. It has been confusing to me for some time. Okay. The Crossing. The Crossing is a professional chamber choir conducted by Donald Nally and dedicated to new music. It is committed to working with creative teams to make and record new substantial works for choir that explore and... One moment. Let's just do it this way, shall we? uh, that explore and expand ways of writing for choir, singing in choir, and listening to music for choir. Many of its over 70 commissioned premieres address social, environmental, and political issues. So, yes, that's what this is. Somebody randomly decided to send me a CD because I teach music. There you go. That's it. We now have solved this issue. It was a completely random thing. Yes. Oh, good. You've linked his channel. Thank you very much. Uh, yeah, crossings. So apparently that's them. I don't know who sent it to me. Sometimes they send me like a follow up email saying, "Hey, we sent you a CD. Maybe you can use it in your classes." But I did not even get that email. Anyway, we just solved the mystery. I'm glad we did it together. I get weird things in the mail sometimes. I just want you to know it. Yeah, we inquire the source of our suspicions. Hey, I hope you all enjoyed Lindy. Um, but I am afraid that I have to say that because there are people right over there, if I steal this, they're going to see it and then they're going to yell at me. So I can't steal everything. It's very irritating. But I am going to go and eat food since my character is addicted to food, which is weird. Uh, what is this? This is, oh, this is tea. Will Lindy be back? Did you fire Lindy? No, I didn't fire Lindy. We had Lindy on as a guest because the Harlock was away, and also none of the players are particularly good at fighting, and so I thought it might be good to have somebody who is able to fight some, considering where they were and what they were doing. I was like, I'm a little concerned about you all. So I brought Lindy in, and she was here for her 2 weeks. Next week, we have a one-shot, and then the week after, the whole cast should be back. But I asked Lindy if she'd be available in 2 Fridays. I've got to find out if the cast is cool with her coming back, because the thing is, there is clearly some tension going on between her and Tarika, and we have to find out what happens. So I kind of feel like we need to have Lindy back next time we do the Gamblers, because otherwise we're not going to know. Well, this is exciting. We're not going to know what happens. And I feel like it's just like I was trying to get to a good spot where Lindy could just go. Like, we could, like, say ta-ta for now. But unfortunately, we're just not there because they need to have a conversation. They need to have drinks, maybe up at the station. But also, I kind of think they probably need her ship to hide the Aslan. I just am saying that I just don't think we're done with her character yet. So I gotta make some asks.
Nice going.
Oh. Lindy couldn't handle the warp? Greg seemed tickled to see what a combat character looks like. Whew, yeah. Now, there are a couple of things that were going on with that one, right? There are a couple of elements to the fight that I can tell you. You all know that they had grenades, which they mostly used when they were killing civilians. There was that. Oh. Sorry, that's not a person to kill. That's a person to say hello to. Hi. Oh, you're a bellhop. Hello, bellhop.
Why, hello there. Goodness, I always enjoy seeing guests, but it's been so long since I've chatted face to face that I about hopped out of my skin at the sight of you. Excuse me, I should introduce myself, though you might know me already, just not by name. I'm Bellhop Sullivan. You've likely heard my dulcet tones through the elevator intercom.
Yeah, we've got to finish the shipping, you know? Grenades are good at killing civilians, right? And the thing is, so here's the thing. This capital city doesn't really have, it's 8,000 people, right? So it doesn't really have much of they don't have an army. of course, because they're the only government on the planet, and also they're only a town. So they don't have an army. They have they had a very, very small police force, more like a constabulary. Uh, yeah, the president was very perturbed to read the news that they were dead, and the corporate head above was like, "Oh, I'll just take over the planet then, I guess." You know, since the president's dead, I just have to take over the planet. So, but so they, there weren't that many police forces, so the special forces came in, throwing grenades, murdering civilians left and right. They knew they didn't have any opposition, right? They were not particularly concerned because they didn't have any opposition to think about. So they didn't feel like they needed to save their grenades to go and in case there was actual opposition. So they run around, kill a bunch of people. This is also they also were slightly under armored and also underpowered, right? They were using Aslan rifles, which do 3d6 rather than Gauss rifles, which do 4d6. That extra d6 would have mattered. And they were wearing much lighter armor because they were wearing this sort of faux Aslan armor. So they were like, but that'll be fine because we're just killing civilians who really can't do much. Awesome. So, they killed a bunch of people, used a lot of their supplies, and then the big fight happened with the ships, and they're like, oh, that's bad. What's going on? This is no good. We need to get out of here, but we need to kill the president first. Not that, because that was their real goal. You know what I mean? Their real goal was to kill the president and a bunch of civilians. Massacre some people, it's fine. So they're like, okay, these people are sort of distracted. We're going to sneak into the back of the building. We'll just kill the president. That'll be fine. So they're going through, killing people. Everything's fine. They've not been found out. They head on up, and they're about to get to the third floor. And look, here's the thing. Best have pulled before. Their tags had expired dates. Yeah. Yeah. And so here's the thing. If Lindy's character Quint had not gone into that building, the other PCs would have not gone into the building, and then those people would have killed the president. All I'm saying is, also, if Lindy's character had not been there, they also would not have Fatateas and Jaeger Ayers. Because Lindy's character, who's the scout, who was scouting around, was like, what is this? Picked up Fatateas and crew. And Lindy's character is the one who's like, you know what? Don't we want to investigate that thing? There's something going on in there. And the rest of the crew's like, nope. If Lindy hadn't been there, the president would be dead right now. I'm just saying, because they were just right on their way to go and kill the president. So then when Lindy's character shows up, we have this conflict, and they had basically 2 rounds. The first round was oh, let's shoot. I think, because they didn't know how many people were there, right? And they're oh, okay, there's only one person. Okay, that's fine. We can so they did a second round of shooting with aiming. And that did not work. So they were going to do something different, but then they all died. I will say, though, that if they had Gauss rifles, and they had not been goaded, because Lindy's character was goading them with a lot of insults, and so they did not take 2 full rounds to aim, but only 1, because they sort of jumped the gun, that would have been potentially 9 more points of damage per hit, and that all would have gone through. So Lindy's character was lucky in certain ways, was smart in other ways, but that could have gone very differently, and the soldiers would have taken a different tactic on their next turn, except that they all died. So, but also, Quint has definitely thrown a wrench in their original plans. Absolutely. So the question they were asked was, are you bad enough dudes to kill the president? The answer was no. Yes. How quaint. Positive passive aggression. Yes, right? What's really also interesting, though, is if Terka had passed on the intel that Baron Severance had picked up, that would have been a +3 bonus, right? Because you have the ability to help. It's a task chain, right? You can, even if you personally are not a combatant, you can do a helping action to give somebody else a bonus to their attack. Well, actually, to anything, really, right? If somebody's doing something, you can always sort of give them a help. You could, for example, Severance is really good at recon. Severance can do a recon to get the lay of where everybody is. Pass that information on. That would give a bonus to somebody else if they're going to go and snipe somebody or whatever. So even if they're not massive combatants, there are things that they can do. And if that had passed through, I think that probably would have made the difference in that first round of combat. Just noting it, which is like, I think. By the way, I recognize your voice. Pleased to finally meet you.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. I'm glad to meet you too.
Oh, I will see you,
Now
Rissa.
that our introductions are out of the way,
I'll see you
let me
tomorrow.
know if I can help you with anything.
Oh, great. Yes, I will see you tomorrow, Rissa. Have a good time. You said you operate the elevator. Can guests not press the button themselves?
Well, yes, but having an operator certifies that the right guests end up on the proper floors. We wouldn't want tossball players rubbing shoulders with CEOs. It'd be anarchy.
Would that be bad?
Plus, there's always the risk a guest chips a nail or loses
Oh.
a ring on a button. It's an extra effort, but the Grand Colonial prides itself on personalized service in all things.
Okay.
That and the elevator still works if I'm ever not around. I do take occasional breaks and sleep every so often.
I see. So I assume all the bellhops know each other, right? Any gossip about Norville?
Oh yes, Norville's great. Always ready to help any and all guests who might need it. And so handsome, too. His judgment sometimes leaves something to be desired, I will say. Kept badgering Halcyon Helen prior to her death about an autograph or something. A little beyond his station.
Well, do you know anything about Halcyon Helen's murder?
Unfortunately not. I was in the operator room for the elevator, as usual. The camera feed only allows me to see within the elevator, which always has many people coming through. For what it's worth, the murder was a right shame. I always enjoyed the serials starring Ms. Helen, though I did find them prone to repetitive plot structures. But I'm sure you've heard the rumor about what actually did her in.
No.
Marauders got into the hotel and management is covering it up so the guests don't run off?
Yeah, have Marauders been a problem with the Grand Colonial before?
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah.
But they're fairly prevalent on the other complexes. It wouldn't take much for them to find their way here. Slug claims they've got the problem under control, but I don't understand why they haven't simply gone and exterminated all of the Marauders like the vermin they are.
Wow.
Oh, well, I'm just here to push buttons.
Okay, well, goodbye. Well, where do we do any... Okay, all right, I know where we are. Also, clearly I've not stolen enough things from this place. Have I... Like, I know me. Normally I just run around stealing, acquiring all of the things. I feel like I must not have done my job there. It's fine. Oh, look at that. I'm, in need of food yet again. It's what happens when I chat with everybody, have a lovely time in my life. I just need to eat food all the time. So anyhow, I'm glad that you enjoyed Lindy. I enjoyed Lindy very much. I thought that was, Lindy's great. And also, here's the other thing. They're actually quite good at ship combat is another thing. They're not the best with hand-to-hand combat, but they could get there. What is this? This looks like somebody's room. Somebody's room? So, she sounded so chipper. I was looking for a tail sticking out of her neck. I know. All right, let's see. Work IDs of Helen's sidekicks. This pile of cartridges contains IDs of Halcyon Helen's sidekicks who were killed, mortally wounded, mulched, melted, torn to ribbons, decapitated, or turned into mechanicals in the line of duty, or otherwise identified post-mortem. Typhon Tim, Olympus Opal, Terra Tuteri, Sparks the Wonder Canid, Burbage's 1900 through 1999, Bolt Vanderhuge, Eridanos Eve, Inconsequential Groundbreaker Maintenance Worker number 13B9, Caleb, Bison the Broker with 4 Broken Limbs Halifax, the entire 26th season of the Tilebackers, IDs Black and Beyond Individual Recognition, Stakeout Steve, Dirk Tenderly. So I was right. You do not want to be one of Helen's sidekicks. You just You just don't want to do it. But why? Who is hoarding IDs? It's like some. Oh, that's probably Norville, like some kind of weird fan situation. But he also dead. So IGMW number 13B9 is obviously the most important person on the list. I agree. I think that's true. So, do we think this is a storage room or a bedroom? Is there a bed in here? There is a bed. So this is somebody's bedroom. I think it's our creepy Norval, right? Let's read the note. The spectacular and thrilling, so sorry. The spectacular and thrilling and great adventures of... This is Norville's room. I was right. So he doesn't get a megaphone because he's a stalker fan. A stan. The spectacular and thrilling and great adventures of Alain Norville and Halcyon Helen, chapter 45 out of 137. And because the ever-resolute Lord Bellhop Alain Norville had brought his automatic Spacer's Choice auto pistol, now with added explosive ammo, which he held in his big, muscular hands, the gigantic horde of rabid canids was all dead. Halcyon Helen, looking very beautiful as always, with her beautiful eyes and lips and nice shoes, she quickly grabbed Lord Bellhop Alain Norville's hand. "Oh, thank you so much, Alain," she sighed slowly, batting her beautiful eyes at him also slowly. "You are the best partner I have ever teamed up with. You are so big and strong and good at shooting. I wish I had you with me from day one. Then maybe I would not have had so many dead sidekicks." "It ain't no big deal, purpleberry cakes," chuckled Lord Bellhop Alain Norville as he took a puff from his cigarette and blew the smoke from the barrel of a Spacer's Choice auto pistol at the same time. "I am just a wandering assassin. Being good at shooting stuff is only because I am part of my job." "Yes, you are, and you are so handsome," sighed the beautiful Helen. "Thank you," chuckled Lord Bellhop Alain Norville. Just then, they started to go for a kiss, but wait! Just as the romance was about to happen, suddenly a hand grabbed Alain's leg. Helen screams. Oh, yes, I really appreciate the mixing up of past and present tense. "It is me, the dissident lord. I am here to get you and take your bits and give them to everyone else for free," screams the dissident lord as the villain began to crawl out of the dirt. His zombie army was also crawling to the surface behind him as well. "I guess there's only one thing to do," sneered the heroic Lord Bellhop as he took a big Hammersmith flamethrower out of his back pocket that he had been keeping secret for just this occasion. "Time to make dissident stakes." Yeah, he did not get a megaphone, but I got a megaphone. I'll talk about it later. This reminds me of a mysterious diary and a trigger ad. Yes, the only a good writer could write this badly. Yes, this is very well done. This is somebody who knows their stuff. Also, that was beautiful. You know, inconsistent tenses. Ooh, a shampoo bottle. I wonder what I can do with that. Hopefully, good stuff. We're gonna just Norville doesn't need Terror on Monarch. Oh, look, it has the signature on it. And this looks like a replica of her gun. Halcyon Helen looks a lot like Sarah Michelle Gellar. I don't know if you noticed that, but I did. Also, it does not look like their rooms are all that nice. I do not have that key card, but I do have a key card, and hopefully we will find... We're going to have to come...
In room A3, please. Someone come help me.
Okay. Hi. I'd like to help you, but, I don't see how. go back to Norbert's room. Howdy, hello, Josh. How are you? What are you doing? Thank you. I did try to bring in my very best for that reading. I was lucky enough to have gotten permission from the author to read.
Please just open the door.
The door.
I'm not sure how much longer I'll make it.
I know. I really do not want you to die. I'm gonna see if there's some way to open the door. I cannot find a way at the moment, but maybe I can break through a wall or in some other way try to help you out so you don't die, so you can get food. I'm so sorry. There's a chocolate bar. Maybe I could slip it under the door. Probably not. Josh, how are you, by the way? I loved the planet that you made. It was very cool. They're just such cool people running around. That's all. My goal for today is to finish a Port City illustration for Tom. Ooh. That book is now public domain. Is it really? Oh, that's great. They are, look, Atlanta Nights was the thing I got the privilege of reading. We didn't get to finish the book. The book is amazing in all ways. So it does not look like we can get through to save this person this way, but maybe on the back end, let's check the back of this block, because maybe from the other side, we can find a way in. Okay, here we go. Okay. Hello, person. There's a person in here who looks like they're dying. Can we... Here we go. Hi. Okay. I don't know if that was a good idea. Hey, maybe that was a bad idea. I probably should have saved before I jumped into this room, huh? Oh well. Suppose we'll find out. Again, probably not the best choice I just made there. Well. You're doing good. It might catch up on Pirates of Draenix. Oh, Josh. Josh. Oh. Amazingly bad, amazingly painful to listen to. Sorry, Trevor, I don't share appreciation for Atlanta Nights. Look, it's, I love it in its terribleness, right? But it was made terrible on purpose. And it is a glorious example of terribleness. Also, I realized I probably should just talk to this person. But I will. I just figure I'd steal things first, reappropriate, clean up the area so that this person is less, there's a hand in here. Why is there a hand in here? You have no hand. What is going? Okay, well, a half-eaten bellhop. Hello? Oh, you're dead. I didn't get here quickly enough to save you. I wonder if I could have saved this person if I had not stolen things first. I suppose we'll never know.
Trapped in room A3. Please, someone come help me. I'm feeling weak. Please just open the door. And I'm not sure how much longer I'll make it. The door's stuck. And I know I need to write a service request, but I can't get it under the door. Is anyone there?
This is a bad place to work. I'm gonna just point that out one more time. Also, that's bad. Oh, hey, look. A service request? Hastily written note. To whom it may concern, please consider this note as a service request to fix A3's faulty door. I deeply apologize for not following proper protocols with this informal request, but my terminal is broken. Too broken to submit a service request form to fix it. I normally would never thumb my nose at our standard operating procedures, but I've been stuck in my room for several days now. I believe I will likely starve to death quite soon. Well, I hope to hear from someone soon in regards to processing this urgent request. Thank you. By the way, apparently the elevator pitch for this game is Fallout meets Firefly. Oh. Yeah, that tracks. Also, now I understand what happened. Trace amounts of sprat saliva on this current stump, former arm, indicates the starving bellhop fed the starving creatures with her flesh. It's a shame she was unwilling to eat herself first. That seems bad. Okay, so that's bad. I feel pretty confident saying that was bad. So, okay then. Hmm. Hey Artie, how are you? We have learned so far in the game that this is a terrible place to work. That management does not care about the health of workers, and that people die and nobody knows they're dead, or probably way too long. Those are things that we have learned. I would also like to note that nothing I did in that room counted as stealing, because, well, that's interesting, because that person was dead, so... I am concerned. That's all. We didn't learn that after playing the game for 5 minutes. Yeah, I feel like we might have learned that before. I think we were just reminded in case, in case we forgot that this is probably like the worst place to work ever. Also, do you know, do I feel bad for stealing all of this stuff from these overburdened employees? Oh, I do not. Because something is mysterious around here. There's a clue. There's a clue. Here.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Yes. I know that. Here. Right? Here? I would like a timeline discrepancy analysis, please. Maybe if I back up? I gotta get... Oh, it's like the Pokemon. By the way, I'm too old for Pokemon. Not that when I say that, I don't mean that like I'm too good for Pokemon. I mean that I was not a kid when they came out. Okay, so it's here. I'm going to save because something's weird. Worms didn't give away the papers, Yeah, and by the way, that's not me dunking on Pokemon. It's just that it hit after me, and it's just I just think it's interesting, right? Because some things are, because Pokemon is so important to a lot of people. That's all. Okay, maybe here. Also, my friends, you are in my way. The problem is that if I do this, it shoots things, right? So that's not what I want. Oh. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and just look at everything first, and then maybe once I clear out all the stuff, then I will be able to look at what's in here. The fabulous Bernie the Black Hole Holcomb of the Rizzo's Rangers. Okay.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby.
Yes, I have picked up that there is one, but you haven't... Oh, here we go. Analyze. I got it.
This collection of frozen food has not been restocked in some time. Many of these items are not available in the Grand Colonial and must have been brought in from outside. The fridge was transported here from one of the guest bedrooms upstairs.
See, what I'm saying is, I really think that Halcyon Helen was like feeding somebody down here. Like, I think that Halcyon held some sort of like, what's the word? Accomplice that she was feeding, that she was giving food to, that was like maybe hiding out. And so I feel like this is maybe where the person who is the accomplice in some sort was hiding out. Clearly she was like doing some secret investigation to try to stop the bad guys, because she had played a hero for so long in the serials that she had to do it in real life as well. You know, like, my guess. more or less, something like that. Yeah. Roller says, I didn't have time for Pokemon even when it was a thing. Josh says, unless humans have accelerated development cycles, it seems employee safety should have been a higher priority. This is what I'm saying. For heaven's sakes, especially since it's not like, I don't get this since this place is super overpopulated. I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. Josh says, that's fair. I was the age demographic for Digimon and Pokemon, so there is a major soft spot for monster collection games. An accessory to crime. So I think we didn't have Pokemon, but we did have trading cards, right? Like we would have collected baseball cards and Star Wars cards. I should have all of my card collection should be in storage now. If I had a bunch of stuff in my bedroom from when I was growing up, and when my dad sold the house, they packed up all my stuff and sent it to me, but I don't know if they sent me everything that was in my closet or if they didn't. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. So like I have boxes of my comic books. I should have my card collection. I certainly hope so, at least. I don't know if I have not been. Look, here's what happened. What happened was I did not go through all of my stuff. Like they sent the boxes in, like they shipped boxes over to me, and I put the boxes in my storage unit because I was like, look, I still live in a dorm. I will unpack these once I get somewhere that I'm going to be a bit more stable in. So I haven't actually gone through the boxes that my family shipped me, but I definitely know that there are, my comic book boxes are there. So I need to find out if all my stuff isn't there. I'd have to talk to my sister, but I don't know about all that. So, but like I had, first off, I had some pretty rare cards. I had some Elvis cards from the 60s, but I also had like, I also had like 2 Beatles cards, which were very, very rare. So I had like 2 Beatles cards. I had some Elvis cards. I had Star Wars cards, of course, like Raiders of the Lost Ark cards, baseball cards. I had a bunch of different cards. I collected mostly things like sci-fi. I have like the complete collection of V cards, which is pretty awesome. Anyway, right, like had a bunch of stuff. And that is all those things. That was my Pokemon, is my whole point. And the reason why I say that is because we used to, I don't want to say gamble, although that might be the word for it. But we used to gamble cards.
Feels like getting into trouble.
I don't know, maybe me, probably. But do you know what I mean? Like we used to gamble cards, right? We would did a couple different things. One would be like you'd throw the card against the wall in school during recess. Whoever got closest to the wall with their card got all the cards, right? That was one we'd either do closest to the wall, or we'd throw, and then whoever would able to land their card on another person's card got all the cards. That was like the second version, and then the third version is what we would call. What was it called? It was called something like Badger or Chipmunk, Hamster, some kind of weird little rodent name was it, and it was you'd put up cards as stakes. Yes, trade. You'd put up your cards as stakes, right? And so there was a game called, gosh, I can't remember what we called it now. It was something like Hamster or Rodent or Chipmunk or something like that. And it was a very complicated way of doing things. Hold on, let me pause because I'm going to explain it to you because nobody else is going to appreciate this. Because this was like clearly, so like my dad, he used to flip cards, right, when he was a kid. So I know that other people did that as well. I've got my Ironforge cards I can use to show, to demonstrate. But this particular version, these like little mini games. So this particular one, the way it worked, if I had my other camera set up properly, I could show you well. The way it worked is that you would have a card, right? These are, by the way, the very cool cards for Ironsworn Starforge, which I'll be playing again very soon. Well, soon. So you'd have like 2 cards, right? And you would place them face up on the ground. Like you'd put, did you set cards as wager on a game of Tiddlywinks during school? No, we didn't play Tiddlywinks. We just wagered cards. So I have a card, you have a card. We both put our cards down on the ground because we're at school. face up, like one on top of the other. And then on your turn, you got to make a move. And you would take another card that you had in your hand. And what you did is that you would touch the cards in some way, right? You could like, oh, hold on. It'll be easier for you to see this if I'm over here. So you would, right, you could only touch it once though, right? So like, if you didn't want to do much, you could like do that and just tap it. And then that's your turn is up. And like, you know, you might like move it a little, move the top card a little bit. It's hard when I'm holding it in my hand, my friend, right? Move the top card a little bit. Somebody else would do it. And the goal was to get it so that you had a face up card on top of a face down card. And if you got it in this configuration, you got both cards. And so generally what you wanted to do, right, was get the cards separate enough, if you had very good technique, separated enough that you could do this thing, which would be, oh, my technique is not good anymore. It would be like yeah. So if you could get it enough out like this, you could flip this card underneath, flip this card up, and flip that one over. And then you would win both cards. But the thing is, you need to get enough leverage. You need to get the card separated enough that you can do it without getting it so separated that your opponent can do it. But also you have to do it in one fluid motion. So if you try to do the flip and you miss, what you probably have done is flip the bottom card over, but the other card is not on top of it, and then your opponent can just flip that, just slide it over, and then they win, and then they get all the stuff. Which, you know, isn't fun. Woodchuck, that's what it was. It was called Woodchuck. It was called Woodchuck. That was the game. That was it. Oh dang, yeah, Tripper was a card shark, but trading cards rather than playing cards. Also, by the way, I suppose I should tell you this, because I want to share with you a story about young Trooper in middle school. Upchuck, it was called, yeah, we called it, and there was nothing more high stakes than, there was nothing, especially if it's made a really cool card. Like, it's made a really cool card, and they're like, I'm gonna put up this card, and you're like, oh no, right? Yeah. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I've eaten the purple berries which were in the refrigerator and which you were probably saving for breakfast. They were awful. Okay, but then who was this? Who is the accomplice? This is a mystery, my friend. A mystery that we shall have to solve. I bet rich kids do the same with their black credit cards. They must have done, but I bet black credit cards were either really easy to woodchuck, or not at all. We'd have to find out. Okay, loser always felt sick afterwards. Yeah. So, okay, wait, so I have to tell you, I want to tell you a story of Wee Trooper, so you could see how cool I was. You know, like how super cool I was. Because I feel like you probably have already figured out that in school I was really cool. Yeah, middle-class kids didn't do anything like that because our parents would murder us for trading away losing things they bought for us. Oh. I see. I bought those cards with my allowance. Like, I didn't get much of allowance, but also trading cards were not that expensive, so I'd like save up, okay, and then I would get like my trading cards. But here's the thing. So middle school, we had a middle school dance. We had one dance for like 8th graders to go and, you know, 8th graders got to go and have a dance, right? It was like the 8th grade dance. And everybody went to the 8th grade dance. And I was like, do I have to go to the 8th grade dance? They're like, yes. And I was like, okay. So I went to the 8th grade dance. And what did I do during the 8th grade dance? I flipped cards. That's what I did. Did I dance? I think once, which was mostly just me running around. But I spent the entire time flipping cards. That's what I did during my 8th grade dance. That was me. Back then, they were seeking the legendary Honus Wagner. They probably did that after fancy dinners with credit cards determined who would pay. Oh, I want to play Woodchuck again. I've not played Woodchuck since a long time ago. Carl says, I saved my allowances and other monies with my brother and bought an NES, and nevertheless, I was forced to sell it because my brother fucked up. Oh no! Middle-class parents are for that's messed up. That's messed up. Yeah, no, that's messed up. What's up with that? Removed wall panel. This wall panel has been removed. Judging by the scorch marks on the sides and the blowtorch abandoned on the floor, its removal does not conform to company guidelines. No. Although I suspect that this is the room that I have the key for. Because I have a... Yeah, I have a key for this. Rizzo's Spectrum. That's Halcyon Helen. What's going on here? Or let's take this Thunderclap. And also the Spectrum Brown. Do you think I should drink the Spectrum Brown? I probably shouldn't, because it probably turns you into it probably gives you parasitis. Creepy parasitis is my guess. Well, on the plus side, we are being very thorough, and they give you more than one way into a room, so good game design. Yeah. Screw company guidelines. Nuka Toxa. Parasite Pop. Yeah. So what do you think, y'all? There you go. I don't know. When you all went to, and then side note, I didn't actually even go. Why is your bed out here? Why did you move your bed into the hallway? I really doubt that is appropriate. Janitor's private diary. Dear diary, my new living quarters are real swell, but I'm having a bit of trouble getting to sleep every night. Management kindly offered to board me up in the hallway while they commandeer my room for Spectrum launch storage. Since then, I swear I've been seeing things. Now I'm sure it's due to a lack of sleep on account of the darn leaky pipe above my head, but last night I saw something like a giant worm slither past me. You did! This is bad. Now don't get me wrong, I'm entirely grateful over all the space I now have, but I have to find a way to get some rest before I go completely mad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Why this is bad, by the way, is because that means that the giant parasitic worms are in this hotel room, not just out by the... I'm trying to tell you that this is really bad. If there's a giant worm hanging out here where the employees sleep and then murdering them, I just don't think this is good. I know this is a hot take. I know it's a hot take. I know that I'm probably just going out there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm probably jumping to conclusions. I'm probably not being reasonable. It just feels to me, if you don't think I'm jumping to conclusions and being overly paranoid, it just feels like this is a bad sign. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's fine. No, this is a hot take. Sprats are cute. Oh no, sprats are cute. Shy Halud, there is an answer to the bed question. Yeah. We used to dream of living in a corridor, Monty Python. Josh says, I was homeschooled until sophomore year of high school. Oh, so was Laugh Love Lindy. You should like get homeschool, what's the word? Homeschool, solidarity. Homeschool solidarity with each other. Because, I imagine like you have like had experiences being homeschooled that people who have not been homeschooled would not have and would not share. So then like, you can talk to Lindy about it. Anyhow, I'm going to finish your comment. You were homeschooled until sophomore year of high school. I didn't have many friends except for a transfer student from Singapore. I was so impressed how he saved up enough of his lunch money to buy himself a Game Boy when his mom confiscated the first one. It wasn't long till he could afford another. Wow, that's amazing. Why? So I'm going to just say this about my mom and computer games. My mom bought a ColecoVision, but she didn't buy it it wasn't mine. It belonged to the house, and she played it a whole bunch. My mom and I were actually both together on the game show Starcade, which was a video game, an arcade game playing game show from the early 80s, because my mom loved video games, and she also took me to sci-fi conventions. And she would dress up in the most amazing costumes for those sci-fi conventions. And my mom was introduced me to Star Trek. And I need to go and tell Greg something. Yes. So anyway, my mom was a big old nerd, and I got massive nerd life from my mom. So if there was a video game, like if there was like a Game Boy console in my life, which I did not have because I was too young, my mom would have been playing it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. That's all. So I don't think my mom would have confiscated a Game Boy. Like my mom would never. Like, let me put it this way: my mom would never have satanic panicked my D&D stuff. She might have just wanted to play. That was my mom. It was I got a good proper education. Yeah. My mom was super cool. When we met Nichelle Nichols, Uhura, at the Star Trek convention, it was sci-fi convention. I think my mom was more excited than I was. I mean, I was like 12 and super excited, but my mom was like so excited. I remember when we went to, it's called Creation Con. It was a local convention that was in San Francisco, the Bay Area. I think it hit some other parts of California. And it was the sci-fi Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who comic book convention is what it was, right? And so they would always have like so you would usually get like, this was like the 80s, right? So we're talking, this is like mostly like early 80s. This was before The Next Generation came out, right? So at this point in time, this was during the time when Star Trek was being kept alive exclusively in conventions, because they're like, the show was done, the cartoon was done, and the TNG had not happened yet. So this was like that era of the Star Trek. This was that era of the Star Trek era. Take a quick break from the Future Games show to say howdy. Hey, how are you? Welcome in, boys. It has all the episodes of the show. Interesting. I'll have to find that Starcade thing. Good time zone, fellow game devs and gamers. Hello. We were so starved for Star Trek in those days, right? And I remember we would go, right? And this was, of course, before Comic-Con became this massive thing, right? This was like these sort of local conventions. And I remember we would go and they would have, oh gosh. So this was my experience of sci-fi conventions in the 80s, right? So the Star Trek crew would show up. We got to see Nichelle Nichols, Leonard Nimoy, which my mother freaked. My mother freaked to see Leonard Nimoy. Shatner was there. She was like not super hot on Shatner, but like she loved Leonard Nimoy. But we saw Shatner, Nimoy, James Doohan, Nichelle Nichols. I actually have met George Takei, but later in life when I won this award for being a grad student, he was there because he's an alum of UCLA, and I won this big award, this big grad student award, and he was there, and I talked to him and his husband. It was very nice. But I got to see a bunch of the original Star Trek, but also they always had like Doctor Who people, so that I got to see like, but usually it was not one of the doctors. It was usually like doctors' companions I got to see. So I got to see Turlo, and we didn't have a lot of Star Wars people, to be honest, who were coming through, but so a lot of Star Trek people, a lot of these like random people who were like, I didn't get to see Mark Singer, but like Mark Singer is totally the kind of person who would have gone to one of these conventions at the time. But there were these people who were like in B movies. I can't remember her name. Danning. Like sort of like exploitation stars. Do you know what I mean? Like these sort of like, hey, Rocksteady. Hello, how are you? Let me see. You found, oh, thank you. I'm going to take that link. Thank you, Krellin. Artie says, when it comes to nerd geek stuff, I'm very different than my parents, but they still supported it as long as I didn't play or do anything connected directly to D&D. So sorry. I am very lucky that my parents, copy link address, add a tab. Thank you. I'm very lucky that my parents, were always very supportive of me that way. Like they were just big nerds. And so they were fine. And I remember like they were so supportive that like they let me play Call of Cthulhu with adults. I was in high school. I was like, 16? And I would go every 2 to 3 weeks over to some adult's house, their actual house in Berkeley, to play Call of Cthulhu. My parents went over to meet them once. saw that they were cool, and they were like, great, do your thing, right? Like when I was doing this, I met those people through some of my high school friends. And my parents were like, what are you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm going over to Berkeley to go and play with these folks. And they're like, okay. So they went and they met them. They thought they were cool. And when I say they were adults, I mean, like, they were old. They were like probably like 24. You know, they were grad students. Do you know what I mean? They were like 24, 23, 25. They were super old. I was 16. You know, anyway, but they let me go over there and play, you know, for like 6-7 hours at a time. And they were very, very supportive. My folks were really great. But, you know, yes. Oh, me, I am 50 years old. I am 50 years old right now, although I will be 51 really soon. That's what I'm going to say. Beep, beep, beep. Leonard Nimoy, Civ 4. Yes. Yeah, I've not heard good things about Shatner as a person. Yeah. I'm very lucky to start with the Atari 2600. Oh, that's cool. We had the ColecoVision because it was the cheap one. Well, I found which episode tours. Did you really? All right. And if that means you got to see my mom, who was the best and coolest person ever. My mom was super awesome. Artie says, I mean, I still played a ton of video game RPGs, and computer games were effectively just the same, just not under the... That's the thing. I found a lot of the people who were very, very anti-D&D didn't understand what it was. And so I knew people who were able to play all sorts of other things that were not D&D, that were basically the same as D&D, just were not called D&D, because D&D was the name, and that's the only thing that people knew. Blue Pointer says, oh yeah, I started doing tabletop at the libraries. My parents made sure I was there. Yeah. Yeah, my mom's name is awesome. And here's the cool thing. My mom chose that name. My mom chose that name herself, right? She was like, because she was kicked out of her house when she was like, she had to run away from home when she was like 16. She didn't graduate high school because her mother was very abusive. So she like ran away from home, and she was 16, right? Didn't have anything. And she said to me that if it hadn't been for hippies, she would have been in big trouble. So she ran away to San Francisco. She went to the Haight-Ashbury, where all the hippies were. And like hippies, like they fed each other, they housed each other. They were just like, it was a very kind of like communal, like hippies took care of each other.
Somebody's
so
watching
like,
me.
I always feel that somebody's watching me, and I have no privacy. Whoa, I always feel that somebody's watching me. Tell me, is it just a dream? Ba-da-ba-pow. Thank you for that follow, Rocksteady, which is a great genre of music, by the way. Yeah. And so like 24 to 25 is so old. Look, I was 16 at that time. They seemed old to me. You know what I mean? They weren't actually old, but they seemed old. Jer says, my dad was a big D&D nerd. My mom, not so much. It was what my dad and his pagan friends played with. It's amazing, Jer. I wish I could have met your dad, Jer. That would be awesome. Trooper just has plenty of Paragon levels, probably. Dang, I hope I look that good at 50. Seriously. Hey, look, I aged well, is all I'm going to say. So, you know, am I winning? I am. My mom took her own name. She took the name Nova. And she would always say, like the car, only older. And yeah, so she took her, like, she became a hippie. She was hanging out in the park. And because, you know, she was 16 years old, right? But that community at that time, so let's see, it must have been like 69, 70, about that time frame, right? And she was over there. She was hanging out with hippies. They took care of her. She got a community together. And when she was 19, she gave birth to me. Apparently, she was sitting in on classes at UC Berkeley. So, like, right there in the height of, like, everything. She was sitting in on classes at UC Berkeley, which is where she met my dad, who was a law student. And she gave birth to me. And his parents said, you are dating a black woman? Absolutely not. We will cut you off from all money, and you will have to drop out of law school if you continue dating that black woman. So then he stopped talking to my mom, and I have never met him. I have no desire to. I'm not interested. And but she did her thing, right? She became a stripper. She ended up getting a job stripping in Japan, where she was one of the most famous strippers for a short time period, because they'd never seen a black person before. And she talked stories about like when she'd walk down the street in less central urban spaces, traffic would stop. At one point in time, she was in Japan, but not in one of the main cities. And this little old woman saw her and stopped and started praying because she thought my mother was a demon. She'd never seen a black person before. But my mother was apparently very, very famous as a stripper. Apparently, and I wish I could find it. I have never been able to find it. Apparently, she was so famous they made a manga about her. This would have been like in 1975. So somewhere in 1975, there's a manga that was made, like probably just a one-shot kind of a thing about my mother. And, you know, she did all this stuff, and then she made all this money, and so she came back. And that's when she was gone is when I was living in the mountains, in a place with no electricity. I was living with my godparents who were also hippies. So when she went to Japan to work, she left me in the care of hippie godparents. And I lived in the mountains, and I ate squirrel, you know, that kind of a thing. Outhouse, no electricity, that cold water, right, that kind of stuff. Well, and water cistern. Yeah, but that was my mom. My mom was like this amazing artist, and then she became like the muse for a bunch of beatniks, right? So she when we came back, she came back and got me, went to San Francisco, and she was like this muse for all these sort of like second Renaissance, second San Francisco Renaissance beatnik artists. And she was their muse. She wandered around, and she was like, she would wear like a turban, not like a turban that you're thinking of like an actual turban, but like a 1970s style turban. And she'd wear like black and silver, and she was like very, very like mysterious and evocative. And she was like a dancer, and she was pretty amazing. And she met my dad, my stepdad. My stepdad is my dad, right? They got together. She saw him in a bar, and she walked up to him and she hit on him. And she said she hit on him. She put his hand on his knee, and she hit on him. I got a less edited version of the story later, where she walked up to him. She's like, "So how big is it?" That's apparently what she said. They got together, and they were together until they died. Those were my folks. They were very cool. And so he was this beatnik poet, and my mom was this sort of like amazing dancer and artist, and she made these most amazing costumes, and she did amazing art. She was an actual artist. She did she created work with beads. I think I can show you her art. Let me see if I can find it. I know I have a photograph that I think I can put into OBS and show you the kind of work she did. You've never seen anything like the kind of work that my mom did. It's let me see. Family, probably. Hold on. Here it is. I only have one photograph of my mother's art. I'm sorry to say, but I do have one photograph, and if I can show and find her. Hold on. I'm going to show it to you because I want you to see my mom's work, because it's really amazing, and I am just so like proud of my mom's stuff, because it's really cool. Okay, this is it. Oh, it looks like I cannot move it there, so I'll have to do it this way. Give me a second. Okay. Yes. I will go not there, but oh, I know how to do this. Hold on, give me a second. Studio mode. Here. Yep, and then I can do this. Great. Good. We are I can do it. I've got this for you. Give me a second. I just have to make this photograph smaller, and then let me transform fit to screen. Great. Okay. It's not gonna be it's not super gorgeous, right? Because I've not been able to size it and anything like that. But I'm gonna show you my mom's artwork. Okay. Before I do, though, I'm gonna go and just check. Oh, how's Outer Worlds, Rocksteady? It's very cool. I will tell you, the workplace safety is really bad. It's funny. The art's like the models are very good. The writing's good. I think it is a very good game. I like it very much. Roxy, you're not interrupting at all. Please, come on. Let's see. Although my dad did rarely buy me Stonekeep, the PC game, and my mother would play it with me. Oh, that's cool. CR Critical Role? No. So let's see. Nova is a good name, Bossa Nova. A friend of mine in college owned an old Nova. It was from the 70s and had a switch to set the gas gauge at quarter. It was because some gas stations in New Jersey didn't allow you to fill up during the gas crisis unless your tank was low. Yeah. That's so great that she found that community. The hate is not the same. It's not the same today. I'm actually very sad about the fact, and we ended up living in North Beach when I was a little kid. It was like San Francisco. Just the San Francisco that I grew up in does not exist anymore, and that makes me deeply sad. Is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, they thought she was. Yeah, this explains why Trooper is so awesome. He comes. My mother is very awesome. She's iconic. Why isn't there a movie about my family and life? This is a very good question. So don't worry, Trooper goes on tangents all the time. It is fine. I love how as you get older, you get the real stories out of your parents. Yes, like when you're a little kid, you're like, oh, did I? And like later, you're like, oh wait, what did you say? Oh, that was the real story. I love that. Max says we keep finding my grandmother's art. She wasn't famous, but she liked to paint. Whenever we find one in the attic or a storage space, I dust it off and put it on a wall. Yeah, my sister has my sister has all of my mother's art except for the one piece of the first piece my mother made, which she made and she gave to me specifically, and I still have it. The hard part is that her art is she made it very sturdy and very, very tough, but the kind of art it is a little fragile in certain ways. Yes, my mother, Nova. What did the military feel like after growing up in Bohemian Spaces? That's a great question that I will answer in a second. You're a pretty good researcher. It would have been, at the time when she was in Japan, it would have been, well, I don't know what last name she was using. It would have been Pennington, but I don't know if that's the name she was going by. You know what I mean? I don't know. But all I know is that what you're looking for, Max, is a manga from about 1975 with a black woman, a dark-skinned black woman. That's what it would be. And I have yet to find, there must be some, I really want, if I could find it, that would be the most amazing thing. Yeah, that would be the most amazing thing. Army basically the same, no hot water, plenty of outhouses, eating squirrel. Because here's the thing, I feel like I need those, if you can find it. So let me show you my mom's artwork. So this here is my mom's art. This is the kind of stuff that she would do. This is the very first piece she did. It's called Rosenelm. And you may not be able to tell, but this is all hand beaded. So what she would do is she'd take a metal rim, like a hoop, and she'd stretch fabric over it. And she'd make a canvas out of fabric this way. And then she would draw the art on the canvas. And then she'd go and she'd buy a whole bunch of sea beads from a place called Yoni's, which I don't think exists anymore. And then she would, 4 beads at a time, double stringed thread, she would go and sew line by line, like 3 to 4 beads at a time, making a row and then the next row. And it would take her like 2 years or so maybe to make one of these pieces. This one is actually like this big. It's pretty big, right? It's this big. So she'd hand bead all those beads in. So all of that you're seeing right there is beadwork, right? And then so it's all the main figure is beadwork and all around the sides is fabric that she's then stuffed. And so this one here is the first one she did. It's on a metal ring backed with cardboard, and she sort of sewed all of that together. It would take her like 2 years to do one of these things because it was like very meticulous handwork is what she would do. Right? How is that? Yeah. And that is also a really good sense of like, and those are like, the eyes are like 2 big large buttons with beads all around it, and she'd like sort of like hand bead all of this sort of really amazing artwork. And she has this one that was like she does all these kind of like really interesting sort of Afrofuturist alien sort of people. And she had this one with this woman with this like, was wearing a fur coat, and she actually got some faux fur and she sewed the faux fur onto the canvas to be the fur coat. And then she got like opera gloves that she stuffed and sewed onto the canvas to be these women's arms, right? So she had these like big, huge opera gloves that were all stuffed and sewn onto the canvas with this fur coat and this sort of woman all beaded. And then she sort of got, you know the colored rocks that you would have for aquariums? She got those colored rocks and she like glued them onto the canvas to be like an alien landscape, right? And so she would like sometimes do like colored sand, and then she would do all these like really cool materials and create these like beaded and like three-dimensional works of art. And that was the kind of always like strange and exciting. And that was the kind of artist that my mom was. That was my mom's art. So you want to know. I'm gonna that was the kind of stuff my mom did. Yeah, like just really amazing. Rather modern work. The top part is very 90s style knitting stuff. Yeah, and she did that in like 1970, late 70s is when she did that, her first one. Yeah, so that's like a piece from the 70s, right? That's back when. Josh says, in my custom framing days, I had the pleasure to mount pieces in that medium. Really? It's tremendously meticulous. Yep. Never seen work like that. That's exciting. Yeah, that's my mom. And she taught me how to do it. It's just that who has the time? Although I really feel like I should. Also, I imagine getting beads these days would be very difficult. But there was a little store in San Francisco called Yoni's, and it was just a bead store. And she would go in and she'd look at like, the entire wall was full of strings of beads, and she'd sort of like go and search out the colors that she wanted for the thing that she was doing, and she'd like get all these beads. And it was just like bags and bags of sea beads that she would just go and time, right? Oh, now I'm thinking about Hazy Shade of Winter, the cover by the Bangles, which starts off, time, see what's become of me. Oh, such a good song. Look around, leaves are brown, and the sky is a hazy shade of winter. Look around. Great cover. Yeah, nowadays we get perler beads. What are those like? Are they different? Okay, heading out to walk the dogs, but I'll leave the stream running. Thank you. Let's see. Success. Engineering note. You've accessed the Bob Mott's personal minimal effort door control protocol. If you're reading this message and you're not Bob Mott's, exit this console immediately and do not enter my personal quarters. Let's unlock C2. I don't know if that's his personal quarters, but let's find out. Let's go to the root. Let's access messages. Yeah, so I just want to, my mom was super cool. She also, by the way, made money doing people's tarot. She didn't start making money doing people's tarot. She just did tarot for free. People would ask her to do their tarot, and she would. But she was very, very good at it, and so she started doing tarot. She also did telemarketing. Where she was really good at talking to people. And she, for a while there, sold Time Life books. And so we would get free Time Life books. And so we had this whole collection of like World War II Time Life books, those big coffee table books. And so I got to see like, there was a book about like World War II spycraft, which I was obsessed with because all these really great photographs of like spy tech from World War II. Anyway, my mom, super cool. And my stepdad, also super cool, like big beatnik poet, and he would do stream of consciousness poetry, and he would like, and he made I have to see if I can find it, but he made a literary journal, and that literary journal, they did 2 copies of it. As a matter of fact, actually, I know where to get a copy of it. I need to just contact this person, again. I need to contact a person who was limited run literary journal, and his ex-girlfriend has 2 copies of it, and I really need to contact her to see if I can get them, because she said she had them. But they had like a bunch of all these artists who were really big in San Francisco right there in the mid to late 70s. Painters, poets, writers, Bob Kaufman, Lynn Lifshin, all these various people. And he did these 2 literary journals, and apparently weirdly, he told me that some grad student, some PhD student in Europe contacted him and was like, hey, I'm doing a dissertation on the second San Francisco Renaissance. I'm wondering if like I could interview. So that was like, so basically those are my parents. My parents was like, these like really amazing artists in a San Francisco that was very bohemian, that doesn't exist anymore because people who are working class and below cannot live there, Yeah, those are my folks. I haven't made any yet. My sister plus nephew did. You glued them together. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, should look into that. Pearl says, really great at talking to people, but when on Starcade, she said that what Trooper did that drove them to crazy was to talk all the time. Yes. I talk to my mom all the time. That is exactly right. And that was my mom, best mom. So to our Motts from the Grand Colonial Hotel Management, Robert. This is to inform you that tampering with hotel property is unacceptable. You are not authorized to repair the malfunctioning time clock. I know you were eager to avail yourself of Rizzo's free tour in exchange for 10,000 hours on the clock, but you've forgotten where your loyalties lie. By accepting that free tour, you would have unwittingly agreed to become a part of the Rizzo's family. You're Slug, not Rizzo's. Or rather, you were Slug. I'm disappointed in you, Robert. Consider this message your termination notice, effective upon receipt. Again, not a great place to work. I feel like officially a bad place to work. Nonetheless, we have gained entry to C2, which is something. I mean, I feel so bad for all of the workers in this place. I just feel like their lives are so bad and then they die. I hope that my hacker bartender can somehow bring liberation to this place. I don't know if you can. I hope so. At least maybe I can invent OSHA.
Huh. I would have just broken it.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, I hope I can make these people's lives better. I don't know if I can. I don't know if this game will let me. I know there's a sequel, so maybe that's what happens in the sequel. We make their lives better. I don't know. Also, when is the sequel coming out? Is it already out? Have I missed it? I feel like chat has something really important to tell me. And I don't like any of this, everybody. I just feel really... This is what I'm saying. And why does this person look like Freddy Krueger? So, we're not supposed to go into this room, which probably because there's a dead body in here is what I'm thinking. Oh, wow. They've got heavy-duty locks. I don't... Everybody, I don't... Fuhukwa gods. I don't like it at all. But I'm going to check chat because chat has good things for me. I'm not late. It's just fast. I just got back from watching a bunch of senior citizens doing salsa dancing. Oh, that's lovely. And it was amazing. The choreography was phenomenal. I was blown away. Yes. Oh, PH, I wanted to tell you something. Let's just nuke it from orbit. Ripley. Josh, that termination would be the best thing to happen to that employee. Yes, that's true. So long as it was prior to the worms and that they could, yeah. Chat has nothing important to say. That's not true. I don't think it's out yet. I've only seen the announcements. Okay, good. I haven't missed it then. I'm not dead. I'm just napping. Everybody to the limit. The cheat is to the limit. Oh, I didn't even read that. Sorry. I was just thinking about old internet. To whom it may or may not concern, I don't understand why I deserve to be terminated. I was your engineer. I fixed things. Your time clock was malfunctioning. You were logging 1 hour for every 10 I put in. How is that fair? And yeah, I admit it. I wanted that free tour of the distillery. I put in my 10,000 hours and I deserve to wet my throat with a little Spectrum Violet. I didn't know accepting that free tour meant I'd join the Rizzo's family. You know I can't read the fine print ever since that welding accident. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Catch a freighter back to the Groundbreaker? Sublight won't pick me up, so I guess that means I'm going to go talk to Mr. Ludovico, hat in hand, and beg him to employ me. Sorry, I take that back. I won't have my hat in my hand. I turned that in with the rest of my personals. It was a stupid hat anyway. Mods. I hope he's not dead. Hey, Mots, is this you?
Okay.
Oh, no, this is not Mots. This is a hotel guest. Why is there a dead So, these boxes have holes in them, which is the kind of thing that you do when you're storing creepy things. This person doesn't have an arm. This person's arm has been gnawed off. I feel like this is... Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So why are the things in the hotel? And I yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a beautiful painting of a ship. I do appreciate from the level design that there seem to be two ways to get into locked rooms. So that's rooms with clues. That's cool. What's not cool is working for this place. Clearly, I I just God, I want to take down the man. Yeah. Um, it hasn't come out yet. Only tongue-in-cheek trailers stuff. The trailers are really good though. Um, some of the old internet doesn't hold up, but Homestar Runner does. Except for the parts of it that are bad. But they were also bad then. Yes, that is true. That is true. When 1 hour becomes 8 hours, 8 becomes 1. Isn't that like a song? Isn't that like a hit song by Kylie Minogue, maybe? I'm making that up. It's not. Uh, if you're a dead hotel guest, you can't even check out anytime you like anymore. That's true. PH, let me forget. I want to tell you something. Are we sure they made soda out of parasites, not from workers? See, this is a question I have. I am not certain about that at all, actually. Yeah. You checked out forever instead. Mm-hmm. The worms were motivators. What's not cool is Purple Berry Crunch. It doesn't have cinnamon and sugar swirls on every bite. Yeah, it's true. And we know it's not very good. So, PH, you said a thing about the group that you were in and wanting to protest, and they want to protest the city hall, and you're like, but that's not, I could probably just talk to them and get that done. I just wanted to say a thing about that because I have a thing to say about it. And the thing I wanted to say was, I see this in college all the time. Hi. It's nice to see you there. So a lot of, I've got a lot of, I teach college and I have got college students. And a number of my college students are very, idealistic, right? They want to protest and make the world a better place, which I admire. But what I have noticed that there is a certain type of people who are in that space who are how do I put this? Okay, I'm going to put it this way. Protesting in a protest march where you've got all people together and you're all singing and chanting and it's maybe a lot of your friends, it is a very fun thing to do. And it feels really good to go, especially if that's your primary means of socializing. If your primary means of socializing is through protest, then you want to go and protest, and it feels like so like epic, right? The problem is that is not always the most effective way to get done what you want to get done. Sometimes the most effective way to get done what you want to get done is to talk to somebody. It's not nearly as dramatic. It's not nearly as impressive. It's not nearly as fun as doing a protest, but sometimes the most effective thing is just to have a conversation with somebody. But if you are more in love with the idea of protesting than you are in love with getting things done, then I find that tends to be the sort of thing that leads people to be more likely to protest than to be effective. And it's often because they don't realize that there are they do not realize that there are other ways to be effective other than protesting, right? Because oftentimes that's how our media, especially boomer media, and not to be mean to boomers, but especially boomer media, romanticizes protest in terms of a very specific kind of protest. I mean, like a protest march, you know what I mean? And sometimes the best thing you can do is not to do a protest march, but to go to somebody's office. Sometimes it is to do a lot of phone banking. Sometimes it's to go and do a sit-in. There are all sorts of different ways to get things done. But a lot of the other ways are less sexy and less romanticized in media. And so people tend to default to a big protest march. And protest marches are cool and all, but they're not the only way to get things done. But the other methods of struggle are often ignored, right? Like, and people just don't know about them. And if you never really interact with people who've done others, with other activists, you're just not going to know about the other ways in which one could do effective work. So anyway, what you were describing, PH, just reminded me of a lot of my college students who are more in love with protesting than they are being effective. And sometimes it's because they actually are more in love with protesting, and sometimes it's because they do not realize that sometimes the more effective thing to do is actually just have a conversation with somebody. And they, hopefully they will learn. But it is a persistent issue that I have seen amongst people who are just starting their life of protest. By the way, that is to get outside of the hotel, but I don't think we're going to get outside of the hotel because there are people for us to talk to inside of the hotel, and I figured we should probably just go and talk to them while we're here. Excuse me for one moment. Sorry about that. There was a bug, and I had to kill it, and I did. And now I'm going to wipe the bug off of my finger. Bug's dead. Did it. Checking up on chat right now. I'm going to get into the lobby and then see what chat has to say. T&L Needler. New T&L Needler suits your every need. Fillable with a wide variety of fast-acting combat chemicals. That's just vaguely disturbing. Just Grand Ballroom. Yes. I remember the Grand Ballroom. I've been there. Employees only, right? I've been there. Out of order. Yes, we saw that. We've been there. I think have we been everywhere up here? We have not been everywhere up here, by the way, because if we had been everywhere up here, we would have all that food. So I just realized we have to go and just hit this side, and then we can go into the lobby. And bunch of nanners. Ooh. Hey, something's happening around here. Oh, I'm so glad we just did a double check.
Timeline discrepancy detected nearby. Analysis of this stovetop reveals an alarming degree of grease buildup, approximating proximity to volatile gases and chemicals. Chances of an explosive combustion upon next use currently at 92.9%.
I'm not going to turn the oven on. This seems like a workplace hazard. How hasn't Slug caught this?
Searching Slug work logs. No work log found. Creating conjecture. Slug has likely not fixed this issue due to a lack of responsibility on the part of their employees.
Is this normal?
Most corporations have regular cleaning procedures to prevent damage to company property. Slug, already unlike most corporations in a variety of ways, does not. That or the employees tasked with inspecting are shirking their duties. For shame.
I am not going to turn the stove on because I feel like that would be unwise. Although I could turn the stove on. I'm going to read chat with this choice still up so we can decide if we should turn on the stove or not. Protesting is indeed fun. Do they really care? I think they do care, but I think that it's perspective, right? Talking about the people that are more interested in protest as a form of social capital, not as a form of activism, yes. But I think sometimes I think it's that they don't, sometimes I think that's what it is, but sometimes I think they don't realize that's what it is. Do you know what I mean? Protesting is fun until the cure desk comes out. Yes, yeah. When you are talking to the man in a non-oppositional way, they feel like they're part of the man. Yeah. I don't know. If you're the person that was photographed throwing the tear gas back, it might still be fun. Maybe. Yep. Or just social activity. And that would effectively make every protest part activist, part agitator. And the thing is, I actually know, I was talking to a student who was big in the activist movement. We are talking about this, and she was like, yeah, but the problem is that like all of my friends, like this is not a problem, but she's like, but if that is your only social circle, then what you do to socialize, like some people, like in college, some people's socialization involves drinking. Some people's social circle involves protesting, right? And when the protest becomes conflated with your social circle, it's not necessarily it's for clout, but it is sort of the way you make friends, right? And so it becomes kind of a complicated thing. Like, I'm not mad at them. I just sometimes think, hey, this actually is not going to get you what you want. And if you actually want this thing, here's a better way to do it, you know? It's also, and Artie says, it's also a marathon and not a sprint, and that is true. Fighting the good fight is a journey, not unlike the stages of grief, yes. I have nothing against bugs until they break the truce. Yes. Yes. I'm used to bugs because I have Windows. Oh, I have a Mac. Improvement. I'm used to bugs because I have my windows open. Yes. Roller says, I used to be a coder, then I took 100 mosquitoes to my knee. Yeah, you haven't been everywhere until you've crossed the deserts bare and breathed the mountain air. Okay. Romance Sister and Riot Girls, I knew back nice. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? And I'm not, it's one of those things where I understand where it comes from, right? But the thing is, some of them really want the change they want, right? They really do want it. They just do not realize that what they're doing is not going to get them what they want. And I would like to have that discussion with them, right? I want to give them more tools in their toolbox. Let's turn on the stove.
Captain, no!
Performing scan. Gaslight appears to have gone out some time ago. Chance of explosive combustion without gaslight, 0.01%.
See? Look. We saved it. Ta-da! Nothing bad will happen now because we were a little reckless. Just a little. I mean, just a little. Also, we clearly need to eat food again, and which is great because we just picked up some. So, you know, eat the food. Also, while we're here, we should probably hit, we've got a journal thing, right? There's like a thing in our, where is it? We should talk to the Ludovico since he's here in the hotel. And also, we should talk to Spencer Woolrich since he's also in the hotel. And we should meet that person, and we should meet that person, and we should... Evan won himself extra work duty at the connector complex. Investigate the complex between the hotel and the orchards. We do need to do that. We will do that, by the way. That is a thing that we will absolutely do. But let's talk to our chef.
Are
Hey.
you here for the double rack of smoked sprat? Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but you'll have to wait. Oh, don't give me that look. Let me see if I can pencil you in for later. Actually, what am I saying? I can't do that. I'm booked for the next month. You'll have to make a reservation.
Hi, how are you? I'm here to investigate Halcyon Helen's murder. I'd like to ask you a few questions.
You're the inspector?
I am.
Here?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
I mean, you may ask me whatever you want. I have nothing to hide.
I'm the inspector of this place. So, tell me, chef, did you prepare all of Helen's meals?
Of course I did. I would never allow anyone else to touch the meals of so important a guest.
Helen's last meal was poisoned.
Oh my law, this is the end, isn't it? My mother always warned me that the culinary world was too dangerous, but I didn't heed her warnings.
I know.
Okay, I wasn't the one who did it, but I might have been mistaken when I said I was constantly watching Helen's food.
I see.
Spencer Woolrich and Bellhop Owens were underfoot in the kitchen as I was preparing Helen's meal. Either one of them could have tampered with the food when I was fetching ingredients.
I see. Your alibi's a little thin here. Why should I believe anything that you're saying?
I understand your reluctance, but... Oh, I just remembered. The kitchen security camera. It'll prove I'm telling the truth about everything. Constable Keene has access to the security footage in her office at the spaceport. If you visit her, you can figure out what truly happened with Helen's meal.
I think she's dead. So, why were you being so evasive about leaving Helen's food unattended?
Well, it's a breach of professionalism, of course. Why else would I worry about it?
How about, I have really good persuade and lie, but how about because some halcyon food combinations turn to acid when unsupervised?
What?
Yes.
Truly?
Yes.
That's an alarming business oversight. Instead of volatile chemicals, the corporations should put barbiturates in everything.
Oh,
Everyone likes barbiturates.
do they?
But I don't
I see.
believe that was a risk with Helen's meal. I was, up to something else. I
Really?
may have taken some time to engage in a teensy bit of recreational drinking, and consequently, I may have been somewhat less than coherent after preparing Helen's meal.
I see. So, what was Spencer Woolrich doing around the kitchen?
Mr. Woolrich often finds the hotel's meals wanting. He seems to enjoy complaining in person.
I see.
While I could appreciate someone with a discerning palate for once, I believe that Mr. Woolrich simply enjoys the attention he gets from us. Though don't tell him I said as much. If you wish to speak with him, Mr. Woolrich can most likely be found in his suite on the VIP guest floor. He's usually there if he's not poking around here.
I see. Now, any idea where I might be able to find Bellhop Owens? Oh, I think I might have an
Yes,
idea.
but not specifically. Owens often procures exotic ingredients from the creatures at the Wilderness Exploitation Reserve. Our guests can be rather particular.
I see.
Let's not talk about the incident with the Raptidon pheromone glands.
All
It's
right.
always hard to say when Owens might be back. If I were you, I'd make a trek to the reserve myself. Otherwise, who knows how long you'll have to wait.
I see. Well, that's all I wanted to ask about. I guess we'll see if you're telling the truth.
Thank you for your understanding, Inspector. I'm sure you'll find the true culprit before long.
One hopes. Yes. Why don't we just finish our looting of the pantry? And then we're one step closer to finding a murderer. We have an elevator to catch. That was very exciting. I feel like we did very good things. I also feel like why do I have two different directions to go? I don't know. But look, I want you to know that I am going to be really responsible and sell trash, junk trash, because I am currently a tad over encumbered. Just a little over encumbered, and I'm just gonna. I am, well, somewhat significantly over encumbered, as it turns out. That's. Maybe I can sell something, and then you all will be proud of me, because, you know. Yeah. See what chat has to say. We learned something? Turn it on! Turn it on! They're almost doing it for the sake of doing it rather than because they caused the protest. Or they can't always separate, they don't always have the self-awareness to separate the two things. We learned something? Walks away, flips a lighter. Again? Did she want it medium rare or well done? Dun dun dun! Yes. Am I mistaken or has this happened to them before? I feel like maybe, right? You better catch up your deets, chef. What are barbiturates? No, barbiturates are downers, I believe. Yeah, no, I believe that I believe they were downers that were very popular in the 70s. Is my understanding of barbiturates. I might be wrong because I'm not a drug dealer, but I have watched movies from the 70s, and I believe, and somebody can correct me, They're a class of depressants, thank you, that have been pretty common for form of overdose suicide. Yes, they're like painkillers, downers. I think actually, I do know a little bit more about barbiturates than I thought I did. When in Kolos, when the players were trying to, as a joke, gave their Falstaff sleeping drugs in his alcohol, those actually were a form of barbiturate. So barbiturates were used first to sleep, also sort of sleeping painkillers, but they are really dangerous. And they're really dangerous if mixed with alcohol. Like that, it causes your system to shut down. They'll just stop breathing. I believe Judy Garland died of a barbiturate overdose. Because back, especially in like the 50s, 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, people would prescribe barbiturates, as a depressant, medically, but like they're really, really dangerous, and they're really easy to overdose on. So people will often overdose on them accidentally, especially if they're drinking alcohol at the same time. Yeah, so they're a downer sort, brunchbarians, the crock pot. Yeah, to sleep. Yeah, so they're like a sleep aid, barbiturates. I don't know if people actually take them anymore. I don't know if I mean, I imagine barbiturates still exist, right? But I don't know if barbiturates are popularly prescribed anymore. That is not a thing that I know. By the way, we're gonna sell this toss ball stick. We're gonna sell anything we have, like anything that's like, that seems like a good weapon. I'm looking for things that are maybe low level. We'll sell this. That are like basically level, let's say level 30 and below. That's our cutoff right now. So I suppose we should sell that. So level 30 and below is what we're looking to sell. And, oh, well, that's definitely below level 30. And if it's level 30 and below, we'll sell it because we should not have... You know what I'm saying. Okay, sell that. I do worry a little bit because I believe that I have some sort of really awesome weapon that I normally carry. Probably that plasma rifle. That's the one I don't want to get rid of, unless it's a science weapon. Oh, wow. Maybe it's that shotgun that I like to carry. I've got some sort of weapon that I like to carry that I'm not currently carrying because, ooh, that looks really good though. I don't want to sell it. I'll sell it. I promise. I made a deal, and the deal was, if it is level 30 or below, I'm gonna sell it. So please be proud of me for doing the hard work of selling my oops, wrong button. This one. Of selling, stuff without checking to see if any of my, because the things I normally don't like to sell things until after I've like hung out. What is this? Clothing, movement speed plus 110%, tactical. Oh wow. Oh, hey, that's cool. I don't know how much of this I'm going to sell. I will only sell stuff if I've got dupes of it, because I might have some of my people might be able to use it, and I haven't. Here's the thing: I haven't been able to check with my people if the armor that I've gotten is better than what they've gotten, right? So, yeah, we're gonna just doing a little bit of thinning out. That's it. And now look at that. I'm way below on my encumbrance. And you should be proud of me. And we'll save. Boom. Look, under encumbrance and everything, selling stuff, not hoarding. The famous barbiturate deaths include Judy Garland, Marilyn Monroe, Jimi Hendrix, and the Heaven's Gate Cult. Oh, yeah. Now the world is more than enough of a downer itself these days. Right, I stole the stuff. We can't see that, Trooper. Oh. That's fair. But but I'm telling you, Krillin, I'm no longer encumbered. I'm telling you, it is a true statement. I have not lied to you. I'm now under encumbrance.
Hello there, my inordinately... Oh, you're the one who visited me. Hello
Yes.
again.
Hi.
Thank you so much for brightening my day. What authorized floor can I bring you to?
I'd like to visit the VIP guest floor. Actually, I really do want to see... No, never mind. I want to see the security footage. Can I do that? Because if I feel like there's security footage, right? And if I can see it, then I might have more things to say before... hello, concierge. I need the security
the Grand
footage.
Colonial front desk warmly welcomes you, Inspector. It's a pleasure to see you again. How
Just
may I be of
convenient placing.
assistance to you, Inspector?
What I need is security footage. Where is security? Do we know? Do we know? Security. There's security footage of the kitchen. Trooper just transferred his collection somewhere. Okay, hold on. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look at our map. I'm gonna see if they will tell me where security is, because they probably won't. But this is right. The man who chafed, vending machines. I just don't think they're gonna tell me. Was there security footage? Was there a security center? Do we have security? Is there security in this hotel? Or is it just ridiculous? Because what is this? This is our lounge. That's not security. That's our pool. Very nice. Not security. Refreshments. Grand ballroom. I bet there's no security. Concierge. Grand ballroom. Employees only. I don't think I saw security down there. That was just creepy. Jezza sold the stuff. The universe is ending soon. So, is there security in this building? I feel like there should be, right? Don't you think? Okay, so look, we're gonna do a quick look on the floor upstairs to see if security's there. If not, then... Yeah, our security team is slugging behind. Oh, hey, look at that. That seems sort of bad, right? Okay, fancy bathroom. I feel like sometime a year ago, we, saw security, although, again, maybe we didn't. See, look, there's security right there. Now, that's just a routine ceiling crack. Oh, okay, if it's just routine, I suppose I won't worry about it. But I do want to register my concern. Medical center. I know I have been here before because I chatted with the Quincy MD. Ooh. Hey, what's in here?
It ain't stealing if no one's...
Hi. What were you doing in here, hotel guest? I'm suspicious of this hotel guest. Why was it locked? What's going on?
I was nearly attacked by a terror ray on my way here.
Oh. All right, well, all right, fancy bathroom. I'm not going to steal anything in front of you because you're right here. Oh, it's not stealing. Great. I'll just take that then. All right, bye. Okay, we'll go in the elevator. If security team is from Terra, they are earthworms. Hey, it was in the middle of business. Yeah, what business? What business do you have? I still need to know if there's a security camera.
Aha! Always so nice to hear you, Inspector. I'll get you to your floor on the double.
Oh, security being at the starport. I think maybe you're right. Yes, I think we need to find this in the starport. Thank you, Artie.
Black hole birdie. Be sure
Thank
to
you.
get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
Sorry, that was so abrupt. During the 23rd century, the skip drive was invented, sparking another space race as corporations began exploring and claiming purchasing rights to known star systems. Maybe security was the enemies we made along the way, which means they're all dead. Ask the security guy where the security is? Yeah. So, I just would like to point out that we are very close to discovering a new finishing a quest. Hello, Slugguard. How are you?
We don't toss troublemakers out of airlocks. We just throw them over the edge.
And you think that's better? Hey, Rizzo's Rangers. Oh, I wish I had my Rizzo's Rangers fans here with me. I kind of feel bad. Hey, everybody, I actually don't think I should do this with the current team I have. I actually think I need to leave. And why is that? It's because one of my... No, look, this is what we're going to do. Sorry. We can't do this like this.
Always so nice to hear you, Inspector. I'll get you to your floor on the double.
We have to go to the penthouse suite.
The finest seat in the house.
Thank you. So here's the thing. These are Rizzo's Rangers, and one of my companions is a huge tossball fan. And I would feel very, very guilty going to talk to tossball players without him there. I feel like I would feel bad about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is a thing that you bring him for, because I feel like he would be really sad if I went and I spoke to them all without him. So we're gonna, not do that. Hey, my friends, we're gonna, we're gonna take him with us. It's a toss-up. So I think we can talk to Administrator Ludovico right now. That's a mission.
I just received word that Constable Keene is dead. Please tell me it isn't true.
I should have a lie of 65. Oh, maybe I don't because I don't have my companions with me. Awkward. She was murdered in her office.
Halcyon Helen, Leora Blossom, Maria Keene. There's a murderer on the loose, Inspector.
Mm-hmm.
You must stop them. I don't have Maria to count on anymore, so I'm counting on you.
Was she important to you?
Maria devoted her entire life to our vision. She was absolutely committed to our company, to our project. I promised myself I'd reward her after we launched Spectrum Brown. I'd make sure she was comfortable for the rest of her life. She was also our voice of reason. She was sensible, and I appreciated her advice. I never got to tell her that.
I do think I ate recently. Let's change the topic.
What can I do for you?
I looked into, hey, why was there a suspicious looking mascot in my room?
Why was there a suspicious-looking mascot in your
Yeah.
room? I'm afraid I don't understand. Is this the lead-up to a joke?
There was a Rizzo's mascot poking around my room, and I'd like to know why.
I don't know why there was a mascot in your room. The Grand Colonial doesn't offer that kind of room service, I think.
He had, you've got a serious security problem in this hotel. Oh. Yeah.
Cedric has a security problem in this hotel, but your point is well taken. In any case, let me apologize for this unfortunate business. I'm sure this mascot meant no harm.
I'll take your word for it.
Was there anything else?
I looked into Cedric.
Closely, I trust. Tell me what you found.
I'm sorry, I'm about to disappoint you. He's got an alibi.
Of course he's got an alibi. He runs Sublight Underground. He probably starts his day by preparing half a dozen alibis. With that in mind, do you think Cedric was responsible for Helen's death?
He runs Sublight. He could have ordered her death without bloodying his hands.
I'm pleased to hear that. Cedric hasn't won you over with his clever words. Unfortunately, even I don't have the authority to detain Cedric. His line of work is dangerous, though. There's always a chance for an accident.
Wait a minute. That's not what I meant to... I didn't mean it with that tone. Dang it. Wait. That's not... No. 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 I have to redo that. Sorry. I have to redo that. Because...
I've already lost Dr. Blossom and Constable Keene. At least
No.
Cedric's alive.
No,
The universe is a just place.
Krellin just says, Trooper, you stop trying to read the lines non-literally. You keep doing this. I know, but like, I didn't mean it to mean that, I didn't mean to say that I don't trust him in that way. What I meant to say was, he couldn't have done it, but I meant to say it in a noir way. I didn't mean it as in like, he probably did it, but he ordered somebody else. I meant that if he wanted to do it, he didn't have to do it by hand, is what... I didn't mean it that way. You know what, though? We just have to keep it as it is. It is like, let me go and see what my reputations are, because... Hey, Sublight, how you doing? Reputation. Well... oh, man... They're not happy with me. Well, you know what, though? I said it. I said it. Oh, I should check. I bet we have an autosave right when we came into the elevator, is what I bet. Yes. Yeah, we can... That is... Yes. Also, I need to see what helmet I'm wearing. I might be wearing the wrong helmet. I need to be wearing my social helmet because I'm talking to people. Also, I can't believe, Krellin, I just want video games to let me be evasive. I don't have a, let me repair all equipped. Sure, that's great. Also, let me figure out what's going on with my helmet, my cover, because maybe I inventory. Okay, I am wearing a hat that gives me stealth skills, which is not what I need. I need a social hat. Let's see, this is determination, which I think helps with my companions. This is nice headshot situation. Science, hacking, stealth dodge, handguns. I've got some good I need helmets. Science, just a lot of armor. Medical, what is this? Inspiration, hacking. Do I not have any good, what does this baseball cap do? Long guns. One-handed melee. None of my hats give me good... None of my hats are good for this. Well, wait a minute. Stealth is sneak, hack, lockpick. Dialogue. So I need to put more in lie, apparently. But I really need to put more in medical. My life is very difficult, and I need you to know it. So I need to just, Okay, let me find out with you. So inspiration, what does this do? It increases the damage inflicted by your opponents, okay? And determination increases the maximum health of your opponents, of your companions. I should probably do some of that because they've been dying recently. Okay, good. Look, we've just worked it out. It's great. Video games tend to the quite literal. Yeah. Video games do let you be evasive, but it usually will say evasive or lie in the text. I just want more. Hey, I might have food. Wait, I might have food that might help me be more lie-y. I don't know if that's true, but maybe, like maybe alcohol or something. I might have some kind of... What have I got? This is food, and this is companion ability cooldown. Pet pills. Not bad. Life is too difficult. You can adjust the settings in the menu. If yes. No, I just want a companion. Really, all I want is the ability to be more evasive. That's my mind attribute. Is mind, by the way, is mind where lies come from? So here's the thing. I have all this food and then I never use it. So I am going to just do a bit of a, let's see, mind, intelligence, perception, persuade, Oh, okay. So personality is a lie. You know what? I have a really good aptitude for beverages. I should be doing more of that. You know, let's see if we can get a personality. I would like you to know that you should be proud of me for actually thinking about drinking things, because I often don't. Personality or charm. Critical damage. Booze should work if it works in real life too. Yeah, let's see. We're looking for some booze that will help our Purple Berry Punch. Body. I should be really drinking more of these things. What I need is I need to get my medical to 80, so I get another med slot so I can just make it automatic when I get into a fight, you know what I mean? This is mind. Let's look for alcohol. What is this? Purple berry juice. I need to drink more. Sorry, you know what I mean. You're not going to get what you want out of a video game until we have synthetic intelligence. Well, yes, that's true. And I just want to say, level head, I want to say for the record that I am not excited by the, we're looking for alcohol. That does a body good. Oh, I should be consuming some of these things, actually. I just thought I should note that. Let's see, maybe just, I'm just looking for some, that's tea. I want alcoholic beverages. What about you? Purple berry wine. It gives you +1 to personality attributes. There's a hangover of -1 dexterity, perception, charm. It lasts a minute. Let's do it. Let's drink alcohol. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. We're gonna be a little drunk, and we're gonna talk to this guy. Oh, you know what? That save was after we talked to him, not before. Yeah, so that was not the right autosave. Yep. Yeah, we can try one back. So speaking of video games not giving me what I want, I am keeping an open mind. But the footage I've seen of the new D&D VTT that they're making, you know, the D&D, whatever it's called, D&D 1, D&D Next, D&D, the thing, and I saw the trailer for it, like, you know, the trailer where they're like, oh, look, and it's like that, it's like a 3D, it's a 3D VTT that looks like a video game, and I wasn't into it. And I know they're trying to sell 3-dimensional VTTs as like the way to go. Like, I know it. But the thing is, I'm repairing again. I have never been very excited by...
The one who visited me. Hello again. Thanks so much for brightening my day.
You're welcome.
What authorized floor can I bring you to? Next stop,
Right up there.
the finest seat in the house.
Yeah, they're trying to try to appeal for video game people to try to get them into TTRPGs. Yeah. In my day, we only needed 2 dimensions, right? And so here's the thing that I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I'm not into it because that 3rd dimension barely adds any depth to the VTT. Yes, but it looks like it's going to add a lot more work for me as a GM, right? Like, I try to make my VTTs look nice and be cool. I do work on that, right? But 3D VTTs feel like a lot of extra work that I'm going to have. Like, so here's the thing. Like, last night on for the gamblers, I made a map by hand for the hallway where the fight was happening up in the city hall. I didn't have a city hall map because I didn't know if they were going to go to the city hall, so I didn't prep one. And they decided to go to the city hall, so I was like, oh, okay. So I just drew out a map in Roll20 because you just use a little polygon tool, make some lines. You know what I mean? Like it's fine. Was it a big fancy 2D map? No, but that's fine. You don't really need that much more than like, I mean, you can always just draw lines on a map, right? And I can just do that just like that really easy. Like, oh, let me just draw a line. You can just like like, it's fine. But I just feel like with 3D VTTs, you can't just do that. You can't just be like, oh, okay, we just need a improv thing. Here you go. And that's just the thing for me, right? That I just don't feel like I feel like it's going to be too much work as a GM for not enough return, if that makes any sense. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like, why would I spend all sorts of work to get 3D assets and do all this 3D, like, I mean, I suppose if I wanted to be a computer programmer, like, that would give me practice at that, right? I get into Unity or whatever, but when I need to be able to improvise, right? I'm a very improvisatory, like, I am, as a GM, I'm a very improvisatory GM. And when I have the time, I'll prep some maps that I think I can use. Like, I'll usually get a couple things in there, but I need to be able to like have a system that allows me to just like improv a map if I need to, because the players go somewhere I don't expect. And it just does not seem that 3D maps systems are going to do that for me. Yeah. I have Tabletop Simulator, haven't done anything with it yet. Same. 3D isn't better than 2D. It's different from 2D. Yes. Yeah, it just isn't required at all. I've done that for battle maps before. Yeah, Cron says, and just because I want to play a game with Matt Mercer's Dwarven Forge sets and WizKid's miniatures doesn't mean I want to do that on a computer. Yeah, the tactile experience is a huge part of the draw. Actually, that's a very good point, actually. Jer says, yeah, much easier to make 2D assets rather than 3D assets, especially in non-standard settings. Absolutely. They're marketing to the players, not the DMs, really. I think that's true. And the thing is, if we all know that fantasy, there'll be a lot of pre-made assets, 3D assets for fantasy, right? But what if you're not doing fantasy? What if you're doing the 1920s, right? There's all, like, as this is to sort of, to yes and Jer, if you're not doing fantasy or a more standard sci-fi, fantasy, yes, and then anything outside of fantasy, it's gonna be really hard to find pre-made assets in 3D for them. You're probably able to get some sci-fi next, but after that, I mean, even now, if you look at Roll20's 2D assets, like, there's stuff there, right, for fantasy, sci-fi, and then the 20s. But, like, if you want, and some Old West, but, like, it's not easy to get stuff that's not those things. Yeah. Josh says, it's funny, because I have a feeling that 3D VTT is antithetical to what I feel the strengths of TTRPGs. Me too. Yeah, me too. Yeah. And Krillin says, yeah, the more visuals you give, the less imagination you have. Yeah. PH says, if you have a 2D system and someone tries to sell you a 3D system, hold out on the negotiations for a 4D. That's the real innovation. Yeah. It also has some more 3D assets like their 3D dice. Yeah. And so here's the thing. It's funny because I actually really like the 2D stuff. Like, you don't always need it, right? Like, you don't always need the fog of war, but okay. Remember when you were a kid? Maybe you were never a kid. I don't know. I'm not the boss of you. I'm not the boss of you. Also, by the way, let me go here. Not there. Let me go here so I don't get hungry again. So when I was a kid playing D&D in the super old school way back when, and by that I meant maps and minis, right? Where you would be like that old school way where the GM would describe, okay, so there's a door, 10-foot door. You open the door. You see before you a corridor. It's a 10-foot wide corridor. It goes down a distance before at least 30, 40 feet before you cannot see what happens. And so you're like, okay, we creep down. And then after about 50 feet, the corridor, there's a corridor to the right. And you just have to map it on your graph. Like, they don't give you the map itself. You just have to map it yourself, right? But then when there was a combat, then they would pull out the map and they'd sort of draw that space. But I always remember thinking, I think it would be really cool if there was some way to have the map so the players couldn't see. And like, some people would do it. They would like put the map out and they would like put paper over all the parts of the map that haven't been uncovered yet. Like, that was like the old school way of doing it. And I remember thinking, I wish there was like a better way to do this. And what's cool about VTTs is if you want that experience, you can actually do that in a really like faster and more efficient way, right? So for me, that VTT thing with the fog of war and the light is just cool, and it's more efficient than doing it by hand. But the 3D VTT stuff does not look at all more efficient to me. it just looks like a whole lot more work, right? Krell was never a kid. Roller 300 says, my theater of mind is so epic, I could craft a story with water-deep meeples. Yes. There's like, I also like more blueprint-style maps for high-style games. Oh, yeah, those are very cool. And you can, like, get that. Like Matt Mercer used to do with CR in the earlier campaigns. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. The actual solutions for gyms to run the combat on the player-drawn map. Yes, actually. But then, okay, but that would actually require... So Krellin... that would require something slightly different in a way that I think actually would be really cool. So when I say slightly different than what we did not do it this way back in 83, but we probably could have, and that would have been cool. When we were mapping ourselves, we actually just did it on graph paper and small. But actually, I suppose what would have been better is to lay out the big blank map and have the players use the dry erase marker or the wet erase marker, whatever you were using, and actually map on the big map. And so then you could have the combat. They are drawing the Ooh, I like that. Okay. I'm seeing it. I need to take a note. I need to make a note. My notes that are not the gamblers goes here. What I need to do is think about a dungeon crawl where the players make the map in Roll20. That was some like old school excitement right there that I think would be kind of a fun experiment, just to like do a little thing. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna run out and get some food. Try not to be entrenched for like 15 minutes. Okay, I'll try not to. Jared, in VT, you give the players a bunch of assets they could drag and drop onto the screen. Yeah. Basically, you give them like dungeon tiles, you know? You could give them that. Brain, a dungeon crawl adventure where the PCs spend most of their time crawling. Nice. Yeah, I just feel like, so I have been very...
Inspector, I've just received word that Constable Keene is dead. Please tell me it isn't true.
I still don't have the lie.
Helen, Leora Blossom, Maria Keene. There's a murderer on the loose, Inspector.
I know.
You must stop them. I don't have Maria to count on anymore, so I'm counting on you.
Sure. Roller says, you want your fighter to parkour? Give me a 20. Hop, skip, jump, chop. Yes. There seems to be a shift away from players taking notes or drawing maps, etc., and more that being all put on the DM. That's true, actually. I mean, as a player, it's so funny. I'm going to say something, and I don't know if what I'm going to say is true. And so I'll try to express how I don't know if it's true. Back in the day, players did a lot of stuff, right? What I do not know is if the difference is because times have changed or because I'm no longer 13. 13-year-olds, like as a 13-year-old, like people will often say, there's a thing I find a little bit frustrating. People are like, oh, I want to introduce my kids to role-playing games. You know, they're 12 or 13. What should I introduce them to? And everyone's like, oh yeah, no, don't do anything with rules. Because people who are like 12 can't handle rules or math. That's just too much for them. So there's this super rules-like game that you should probably introduce them to. And I was like, when I was 12 and 13, I was going through the AD&D rulebook, mapping things on hex maps in really intense ways, trying to figure out what the governmental systems and building my own keep when my character got high enough. 13-year-olds can handle all of that, right? So I think that what it is that adults cannot handle all of that because adults have less free time than kids do. Do you know what I mean? And so I kind of think that a lot of this, but think of the kids as actually just think about adults who work. So I don't know whether or not there has been a culture shift or whether or not 13-year-olds are still spending that much time doing all that stuff. It's just that as you get older, you have less time. So I don't actually know if it is a cultural shift or just the ravages of time. I don't know the answer to that question. Could be either one, really, or both. Yeah. How many took notes? I remember drawing maps for computer video games. Adults, screw them, kids rules. And it might be a little bit of both. It could definitely. If you care about something, you make time. That is also true. But I also wonder about... This is about time in adults. So everyone says, like, the hardest thing ever is to schedule RPGs because, like, nobody has time. No one has time. And I was thinking about that, and people will just phrase that as just being a sign of adulthood, is that nobody has time. Except that when I was in the Army, it was just every Thursday we all played RPGs over at Tony's house. And in a generation earlier, people would get together to play bridge or whatever, right? So the idea that you would have a regular weekly bowling night, like you have your bowling night or you have your bridge night, right? You have this was a pretty standard thing that adults would spend a night a week with their friends doing some kind of adult thing. So is it that we are busier than we were back 30 years earlier, or that I don't know, because you certainly can. I mean, I feel like you certainly can have like a dinner night with your friends every week. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say. I think part of the mindset was to not hold the player's hand, so that players had to do a lot of their own work to keep track of things. I think that's probably true, actually. Yeah, and then we do a lot more hand holding now. Absolutely. When I ran games for school, says Josh, they loved getting to map out their hideout, but wanted to be surprised during the fights. Yeah. So I kind of think there might be slightly different expectations, but also, yes. Because mapping was fun, right? And of course, there's always a bit of a challenge, like, did you map it right? Right, like, oh, were you correct in that one? Like, oh, right? And yeah, different demands. I mean, how many people watch a specific sport every week? Actually, yes, that's actually another example, right? People make time to watch their baseball every week, right? So like, people do clearly have the ability to make time to do something regularly. And so what is, I think it's not only just priorities, I think it is priorities, but I think it might also be what is considered appropriate to reserve time for. And that's about social judgment, right? Like, I think that if I said, oh, I'm going to go and work out every night, people would be like, that's great. If I said, oh, I'm going to go and watch baseball with my friends, people would say, that's great. If I said, I'm going to go and have a bridge night with my other adult friends, they'd say, that's great. If I said, I'm going to go play poker, they might say, that's great. But I'm like, oh, I'm going to be playing video games. They're like, oh, video games. Do you have an addiction problem? Oh, every night video games. So I kind of feel like there's some pastimes.
Maria devoted her entire life to our vision.
I do not think get the same respect.
Committed to our company, to our project. I promised myself I'd reward her.
You know what I mean?
After we launched Spectrum Brown. I'd make sure she was comfortable for the rest of her life. She was also our voice of reason. She was sensible, and I appreciated her advice. I never got to tell her that.
Let's change the topic.
What can I do for you?
Hey, why was there a suspicious-looking mascot in my room?
Why was there a suspicious-looking mascot in your room? I'm afraid I don't understand. Is this the lead-up to a joke?
Is there something about my tone that suggests I'm joking?
My apologies. I can tell you're not, as they say in Terra 2, twisting my limb. I don't know why there was a mascot in your room. The Grand Colonial doesn't offer that kind of room service, I think.
He had some pretty interesting things to say about Black Hole Birdie.
Such as?
Don't rush me, Ludovico. I'll share my details when I'm ready.
Fair enough. As always, I appreciate your discretion. In any case, let me apologize for this unfortunate business. I'm sure this mascot meant no harm.
I'll take your word for it.
Was there anything else?
I looked into Cedric.
Closely, I trust. Tell me what you found.
I'm about to disappoint you. He's got an alibi.
Of course he's got an alibi. He runs Sublight Underground. He probably starts his day by preparing half a dozen alibis. With that in mind, do you think Cedric was responsible for Helen's death?
I'll just go with I'm not going to share the torture part. He was making money for Cedric. Helen was making money for Cedric. I doubt he has a motive for killing her.
No motive. That's disappointing, because it's exactly the conclusion he'd want us to make. Unfortunately, even I don't have the authority to detain Cedric. His line of work is dangerous, though. There's always a chance for an accident.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Ludovico. He's alive and well.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I've already lost Dr. Blossom and Constable Keene, but at least Cedric's alive. The universe is a just place.
I'll be back. Also, I need to eat food again, obviously. So, I'm here. I feel like we should just go see Black Hole Birdie, because I feel like we can pop that out while we're here, and let us eat food, because obviously we just need to eat food. Also, I need to catch up on chat, because there's something really interesting going on conversationally, and I want to do that. So I'm gonna take my
Always so nice to hear you, Inspector. I'll get you to your floor on the double. If you
I need my
Black Hole Birdie, be sure to get an autograph for me. Just joking. I've already got one.
Okay, so we need to we'll get rid of Ellie, and we'll bring Felix with us. Black Hole Birdie. Should we take Felix and Parvati? Yes. We'll take Felix and Parvati will be our team for the moment. They're kind of melee heavy, but I think that'll be all right. And I think that'll be, I bet she would enjoy meeting some tossball players as well. I think they both would, so we'll take them with us. Yes. Other parties I've played with have different people with different levels of comfortability with making stuff up. Some see it as cheating, some need permission. Yeah, no, it's true. Some just dive in, and it also depends on like what kind of stuff they can make up. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not playing D&D, I'm writing a story with others. I bet they'd respect that. The problem is social media. If kids weren't on their cell phones, all of society ills would be cured. Maybe. Artie, video games are my primary means of getting relief from my depression, anxiety. Don't pick option 3. No. The universe is nowhere near a just place, especially not this universe. No. Good evening, Kitchen. How are you? Have a good weekend. We are going to talk to tossball players. Yeah, I just think that I always found it really fascinating.
Hey there, you a fan?
No.
I'm getting worried about our mascot. I haven't seen him for a spell.
I wonder who that voice actor is, because we see her a lot. Like, I hear her a lot. Your mascot's in trouble. Just, it's bad, is what I'm trying to tell you. It's bad. Let me go and look at the Prince of Tossball. Go to the meeting spot. Oh no, that's the man who chafed. That's what we need to do. Oh, hold on a second. What is this? Retrieve the kitchen security footage. Security footage of the kitchen would verify that Chef Honor wasn't the only one. Okay, speak with Bellhop Owens. Speak with Spencer Woolrich. Do we talk to him? I feel a little worried about talking to him before we talk to those other people. I just feel like we should maybe gather more evidence before we talk to him. And maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't feel like we can talk to him yet. I know this is bad. I'm so sorry. I just don't think we can talk to him yet. I think...
Always so nice. Next
I know.
Eight in the house.
It's just that he seems like a really big suspect. And I know we're in the hotel. We're already here. I get that. It's just that there's clearly like background information we should probably have before we confront him, even though I don't think he did it. So I just think I need to get my friends back, and I think we need to go outside of the hotel and find those other things. Like find that security footage somewhere. I know. Don't judge me.
Always to the lobby we go.
I know. Workplace malaise is moral bankruptcy. Happy workers lead to happy customers. Happy customers are repeat customers. Rizzo's Moral Improvement Program. Don't be you, be better. I don't like it. Yeah. You passed your semester exam. Congratulations. I know that, like, that's a big deal over in Europe. Congratulations. I actually still don't tell my father that I'm running a D&D campaign. I just say that I'm running a game. Yes, docs for the security footage. Okay. Yes, the woman who's dead. That's right. I like that idea. Move our way up the corporate ladder. Yes. Okay, thank you. We're gonna be interesting. I was with the thought in my head, right? I was thinking about narratives of addiction, and specifically there's a thing where people are like, oh, people are addicted to video games, right? And they're like, did you know the average young person plays video games 3 hours a day, every day? We have a video game addiction problem. But the average American watches TV like 7 hours a day, and we no longer talk about TV as addiction problems. We did, like in the 70s, then we were talking about it as being an addiction problem. We don't anymore. And if somebody spends like 3 hours a day at the gym doing CrossFit, nobody says that they're addicted. And I also think about like how in the DSM, if you do certain things a lot, that's considered like sign of like a mental health issue. And those things are often nerd things, like, oh, well, this person reads a lot of comic books. They do a lot of that. That means they probably are, they spend like 3 hours a day reading comic books. They probably have some sort of autism. But if they spent 3 hours a day doing football, we would never say that. And so I just am aware of the fact that what is considered a problem or not sometimes seems to be related to not whether or not it is a problem, but whether or not society sees it as a valid thing or not. Do you see what I'm saying to you? And I find that frustrating. I don't like it. I find it irritating. So if we want to... What's going on? I should... Oh. Right. This person is a rupturing drone. So... Oops. Yep, you did. Fight! Oh, big worm. Pardon me. Okay, sorry about that. We just had to deal with a little bit of that for a moment. Some parasites, sorry. Yeah, we're fine. We're okay now. It's the dead times. Yeah, so anyway, I just have always noticed that some things, if you do some things obsessively, people think, oh, that is so great. And then if you do other things obsessively, then they don't think it's so great. And that is just a thing that I have always... And I think one of the things, of course, one of the reasons why I think about it a lot is because the things that are often considered not so great are nerd things, right? Like, you do certain nerd things. Like, do you know how many, like, I don't know if you know this, but I know people who, of course, think they practice the violin. People who are like practicing to be musicians, they practice like 7-8 hours a day every single day, all the time. They like wreck their bodies, and people are like, "Oh, that is so great. That is so admirable of you." And so I just noticed that some things that we will take as like a positive thing, other things we'll take as like a sign of badness, and I just can't help but notice. But as a nerd, the things that I liked tend to be in that bad category, but I don't see any difference between those and like some other things is all I'm saying. And I just wanted to note it. But they aren't addicted to watching sports or going to the movies. Nope. The average of TV viewing is going to drop as video game time goes up. Yes, as a matter of fact. Big TVs behind those studies. Well, I don't think it's big TV, but I do think that there's some kind of cultural zeitgeist, right? Tim Kaine has been making video games for 42. Like, his career is older than a lot of people. Video games should be valid by now. 42 years. Yeah, and that's the thing I think is super interesting, Krellin, that they were still talking about TV as being, like, iffy, like, in the late 70s, early 80s, and TV had been around for a while. So it's interesting to me to see when these things become validated. And I feel like comic books are still not validated, but graphic novels are. Ish, maybe. And I just feel like, come on. If you do things that are popularly approved, are okay. Yes. If you do things that are different from what is popular, then they are problematic. Yes. And I just have a bit of a problem that, like, mental health diagnoses are clearly influenced by social norms. If you see what I'm saying. Not always, right? Sometimes not. Sometimes you're like, oh, yeah. But sometimes it's like, oh, well, you play too many video games. That's a mental health problem. Like, is it? Interesting. That's all. I'm not saying that people do not have mental health problems. I'm just saying that there are inconsistencies. And also, I just think it's just not necessarily so, is what I'm trying to say. And that there's clearly some kind of sketchiness. Hello, robot?
Welcome back. Hopefully,
Hello.
law-abiding individuals
Mm-hmm.
engaging guilt-tripping subroutines. You haven't committed any crimes lately, have you? Please
Nope.
speak clearly into this unit's recording instruments.
I need to acquire the Grand Colonial Kitchen security footage from your archive.
All requests for security footage require a nominal compulsory bribe. Is that acceptable?
Hold still. I just need to examine your bit processing unit real quick.
Error. Bit processing unit has been removed.
Oops.
Temporarily surpassing bit fee request. Funds will be requested from Rizzo's leadership with interest at a later date. Delivering footage. Thank you for your patronage. If you would like a wine recommendation to pair with that footage, please submit the requisite request forms. Is there any other assistance this unit may provide?
I just remembered that I wanted to go back. There was like a log that had the log of the things that were being stolen, what was in them, and I wanted to check that. Constable Keen is dead.
Understood. This unit requires a moment to process this information. Information processed. Personal designation upgraded to acting constable. Thank you, law-abiding consumer.
Also, the longer the writer and the actor strike goes, the more people will switch to video games. Chrome asks, are game writers not part of the WGA? I don't know, but I think a lot of things, it depends. I think they were not, but they might be now, or at least some of them might be. I'm not quite certain if they are. Some things, I know that book authors aren't part of it. Yeah, they may not be. It depends. I'm not certain. Yeah, my mental health counselor was like, that helps you? That is great. This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, whether or not you have a mental health diagnosis should not be in whether or not you make other people uncomfortable, but like whether or not you are in distress. Do you know what I mean? I mean, well, that's actually tricky because I suppose if you're a sociopath who kills people and you are fine with it, then maybe that's still a problem. But we got to think about it, right? Keen was the killer's latest victim. I'll just say I could use your help finding the killer.
Error. This unit is incapable of inspection, deduction, unassisted apprehension, or aggressive pursuit.
Yeah, voice actors were not part of the SAG until that strike a few years ago. That's right. They weren't even part of anything for a while, right? And they finally got in. So, I mean, I do think that video game writers might be part of, well, okay, so I know that BAFTA, right? I think they might be part of, I think in Britain, they might be part of a British Writers Guild, I think. What exactly are you capable of?
This unit has been programmed to recommend a wine to pair with your grief. Wash away your sorrows with a glass of highly concentrated, partially fermented purple berry wine. Has a body richer than Byzantium's elite, with an earthy aftertaste redolent of mostly oak. Purple berry wine coming soon from Rizzo's.
You're sad, huh? I'm sorry.
Welcome back.
I just want to see if you're okay.
Individual, please speak clearly.
No, sorry.
Unit, how may this unit be of service?
I'm gonna go look at that footage. Oh, I've already downloaded it, didn't I? Okay. There was something though. Where were those logs? We had. Oh, I also need to eat food. We had logs of food, right? We had of the things that were stolen. And where were those logs? I feel like those logs were. Where were they? Also, do I... So, Security footage of the kitchen would verify that, okay, the footage can't be retrieved from consoles aux on the docks, which I did. Slug has set the price for downloading a copy of the hotel's security footage for 500 bits, but I have it now. Right? But where is it? I have it. Is it in my inventory? Security footage. Here's quest stuff. Let's see. Captain's identification. Let's sort by... Oh, I can't really sort. I'm just looking for key cards. I'm looking for passcode. Borst factory. I don't know if it's caffeinoid. I don't know where it would be. I don't know if I have it in my pocket or if it has to be somewhere else. So I didn't see it. We're gonna see if just checking. You know, that's all. Options. Incense vessel research. Junior deputy. Kitchen security footage. Inspect. Security footage from the Grand Colonial's kitchen at the time of Helen's last meal prep by Chef Anwar. Shows the chef working on a dish. Then Spencer Woolwich and bellhop Owens enter. Owens hands something to Spencer and then leaves. Spencer then appears to say things to the chef, who turns away and walks off screen. Spencer quickly empties something into Helen's food and exits. That's bad, huh? That's bad. Seems bad to me. Well, I'm glad that we did go into our inventory. That's bad. It's bad. Looks bad for him. I don't think he did it. I think it's a red herring, but, you know. Game designers are generally not unions, says Josh. Artie says, based on a quick Google, it doesn't seem like the WGA strike will affect video game writing. Yeah. Take that with a grain of salt. This is a very basic quick search. I also don't think that reality show editors who are also writers count as writers either. Looks like Spencer and Owens are conspirators, and Spencer is the killer. Unless that's a red herring. So here's what I'm looking for. I don't know if we may not have to find it. There may be, we got some information, right? And that information was about the list of items that were being stolen. And I'm thinking if I can find that in here, then this targeting module controls the gunship's weapon systems. Without it, the ship is effectively useless in combat. Because maybe if I find it, these are all keys. Nav key. The get out. Part of this note is illegible due to dirt and crushed purpleberry smudges. The writing you can make out as follows. Helen, I know I told you I'd stumbled on the scoop of a lifetime. Yeah, I saw that one. Well, let me read it again. But neither of us could have guessed just how deep this would go. Now some slug from the docks is looking for me, asking a lot of questions. It's time to get out. Do you hear me? Don't waste time packing. Just go as soon as you read this. You'll know where to meet me. Tonight, 10 p.m. in the Grand Ballroom. If I don't show, take the next ship out of here and don't look back. So I feel like there is in here a list of... Look, I'm trust. If we don't have to go and find that list somewhere else, then that's great. Lucky's case notes, we don't need that. Kitchen security footage, we have that. Deputy badge, we have that. Jasper Lowe's research notes, we don't need that. I'm just going to check because I feel like if we have this, I think this will be Orchard's tour ticket, parcel from Minister Clark. Hello, parcel. I mean, I suppose I'll give that. Parvardian Junie, nice. Some key cards. Relay diagnostics manual. Okay, an eyeball. Sweet. Feeling great about that. Smuggled cargo. Okay. I do feel like there is something for us, right? I feel like I just don't remember stash receipts. Is this it? No. No. There is a list of Ultra Excelsior. That's nice. There's a list of I remember a list of numbers with their contents of like Terra 1 Dustpack Casserole. Very nice. If you remember, there was like a whole thing with like, remember when people were stealing the stuff? We went in, I think, the wrong order. Research data. Nope. Identity cartridge. I remember, okay, so that was it. So I think we actually have to go back to the, there's a computer around here, and I think it might belong to, because stuff was being stolen, random stuff, but one of them was the real one, and we know the number that Helen was actually going for. And if we can find that list of items, then we could find out what was being stolen. And I think that list is probably over there with Sublight, I think. Right? Maybe? Trooper Firstworth Tim Kane has keep it simple as a game principle. I think he might be trying to read too much into this because you would make it complicated. Maybe that's true. On the other hand, I'm not sure if he was involved with the DLC. Also, Monk is in your lap. Hey, Hawkeye, how are you? It's good to see you. I am... The thing is, I just need to remember where that data was. It might not be a thing, but you know what we could do? We could look at our journal, right? Maybe is codex, logs, basic loot, stealth companion symbols. I feel like there was a Eridanos audio logs. So journal. I feel like, and I could just be wrong, I really feel like there was a, it's fine. It's just that we are here. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're here in this place where I know that there was this, here, I'm just gonna go here to the, no, not the constable. It's the, where our creepy guy is. Maybe it's the Harbor's Master office. Was that where the list was? If I can just check, then I will feel good about myself. There was a list of stolen things. Right, that's great. Great for you. I am going to just... I'm going to ask the guy, our murder guy, because I remember seeing a list. We were talking to somebody who was talking about a list of stolen objects, right? Did you have it?
Inspector.
Did you have
To
it?
what do I owe the pleasure?
Hey, Red Rum! You and Lurking talking about unbadging your newest tattoo. What is your newest tattoo? What is your newest tattoo?
Very well.
Nope.
All right. Was there any...
I wish I could remember where that list was. Because there was a list of, the list of stolen items. Who gave me that quest? I do not think I know it. I'm a little sad because I feel like there was let me put it this way. I don't think it was a clue that you needed in order to progress the story, but I think it was just like a fun little Easter egg clue. Lawn is mowed, now laundry. Oh, I gotta do laundry too soon. Finish Scion. Nice, 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 nice. Nice. So I'm going to close up and stop the stream now. But before I do, I want to put myself in the road for success. So I want to put myself in front of the next thing we have to do for our quest. Because that is how I like to do things. It's 2 symbols in one, so the triple moon goddess. Oh, and oh, nice. Oh, charm series. Nice. Nice. Oh, that's awesome. That is very cool. Oh, please do. Please. I love seeing tattoos. That is a true statement. So it looks like we might be able to set ourselves up for success without having to go to some massively wild spot. Perhaps. Yeah, I'm excited. Speaking of which, oh, you know the art that I showed you of my mom? That is the tattoo that I have. I got the tattoo that I got when I was in Atlanta is a tattoo of my mom's art, and it's just right here on my chest. And it's my first color tattoo because I almost always get exclusively black and white tattoos, black and gray. Because if somebody is not good at tattooing color in melanated skin, then it doesn't look great. But in Atlanta, they've got a lot of tattoo artists who do that. So I was able to get a color tattoo, right, of my mom's artwork. And I, just wanted to share that with you. But that said, what is this? Oh, this is Spencer Woolrich. No, we cannot talk to him right now. I mean, it looks really bad. It looks like he's a big old murder killer. But I just don't feel like we can confront him until we get more evidence. And then we can confront him. And then he'll say that he didn't do it. And that'll be where we're going. So, yes. That said, we're just... Oh, hey, before we end our stream, we're going to have to kill a couple of things. Just, yeah, just a little bit of that. And also... a little bit of that. Hi. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. Okay, good. Great. And we did not kill any sublight in the process, so I'm feeling really successful at the moment. Look, we are on our way out. So by the way, I should give... Oh, you know what I can do? I can go and give the end of on our way out info. Hey, everybody. I want to thank you for being with me for stream. It's been very lovely. Trooper SAP. Let me see. You can find me today's Saturday, right? So you can find me on Monday at 8:30 p.m. over at Wandering DM's channel, where I will be playing in Montreal by Night, our Vampire the Masquerade game. And then Tuesday, very excited, will be the premiere of an 8-part short shot miniseries that I'm running that is Vampire the Masquerade, Motor City, Hollow Crown, which is set in Detroit, 1973. It's non-canon. And I'm very, very excited about it. And I feel like this is where we're going to go. This is the Wilderness Exploration Preserve. We have not been here. We are setting ourselves up for success. This is our thing, everybody. This is our thing. But we do have to examine that room, so we were going to place ourselves right here. This is where we're going to place ourselves so we know where we're going. Wait a second. Yes, no, we can do it, right? Yes. Can we go? Is there a floor? There is. Great. We are on the money. This is us standing right here, placing ourselves so when we start next week, we know where we are. Good times. Okay, so Monday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, Wandering DM's channel, Montreal by Night. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern on this channel will be Vampire. Motor City, Hollow Crown. We just had the next cast reveal today. So three of the 4 cast members have been revealed. The 4th one will go tomorrow at noon in Twitter, and then me, and then Hype. So that's what's coming up on Tuesday. It's gonna be. I'm really excited. It's gonna be the first time I'm doing 2 longer term campaigns on my channel, so I'm very excited about that. Then you can find me on Thursday, of course, as normal, playing Disco Elysium. That's 6 p.m. here. Friday, this coming Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, we will not have the Gamblers because we have 2 people missing. Instead, we'll be playing Something Is Wrong Here, which is a horror one-shot by Kira McGrawn, and it's based off of David Lynch. So the whole point is to do a sort of an uncanny David Lynchian sort of dreamlike thing, which I'm very excited about. I've got some very cool people there. I'm going to put together a thing and sort of advertise it probably with the premiere of Motor City Hollow Crown. And I believe that is my schedule for the week. Yes, that's my schedule for the week. That's it. I am going to say, by the way, I have been spending some time looking at opening credit sequences from 1970s blaxploitation films, and I just want you to know that I've been doing that. That's what I want you to know. I am so excited for this stream, and I want to thank all of you for being here. I would raid, but I actually have an offline game that I'm running, a little 4-shot for some friends, in a half hour. So I have got to go grab some food and then get ready for a game. And so I will see you all. Well, you know what? I will catch you all on the flip side. Oh, wait, I forgot one last thing. My socials. That's the thing I forgot. I forgot it. Love your VTM. We just had a huge plot twist happen to my VTM character game. Ooh. I want to know about it. I want to know about it. We'll find out more. So you can find me at Trooper SJP here on Twitch and also on YouTube. You can find me at Academic Foxhole on Twitter and also on Patreon. And the Patreon goes to help pay for the cast. Anything that is not covered by Patreon tips and bits comes out of my pocket, and cast art, that kind of stuff. And we also have a merch store, which is Academic Foxhole, academic-foxhole-shop.fourthwall.com. I'm going to be able to get a better title at some point. And that has got really cool merch. Well, this is Rocket Fox's cool merch, but that's got cool merch like our lovely mug. And there will be more merch coming, but that has to come at the moment. There'll be at the moment for it, and then it'll come. So thank you, everybody. I'm gonna go grab some food, and then I'm gonna run some Good Society. So everybody, take care. Oh, I'm running Good Society, and it's Practical Magics, and Practical Magics. It's the magic supplement to Good Society. And so now I'm going to be running it offline, which means that if there comes a time for me to run it online, I can, because I'll have practiced. So that's me. Thank you all very, very much. I'm going to go grab some food. Take care of yourselves, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye, everybody.